Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmashBoxxTV Podcast 619. Tuesday night here. Ready for more action.
More action. We can't start the show without noting the special day it is today. Terry Miller. What's special about today, Terry Miller?
It is pretty cool that a longtime player of the game, Sandal Parrish, celebrates a birthday today out in the Philly area, along with about 12 or 13 other Facebook friends. Brian Ish out of Oshkosh area, someone that has been at a number of my tournaments. Barack Obama celebrates a birthday today.
Is that what's
so? Yeah, lots of cool stuff going on.
And your birthday.
Oh,
It's your birthday.
oh,
Welcome to being as old as I am.
gosh, it's not treating you well. So, so I don't know. I
have
think
a
I'm
little
glad to be here.
I have a little less gray than you do, my friend.
Well, because you can't grow facial hair. That's why.
I hide it well.
Yes.
You've got gray hairs that are older than our current guest.
That is probably true. Hopefully, I don't know. There's something else there. All right. Well, with that, bringing the youth to the show, certainly bringing down the overall average age here on the show. A first-time tour champion after taking down an Elite Plus event, a massive event, the Ledgestone. We've got none other than Luke Taylor here tonight. And Luke, welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy birthday, Terry. You could have led with that a couple minutes ago, but happy birthday. That's awesome, man.
Well, thank you. Really no shock or surprise that, of course, even on my birthday, we're
I'm always a
leaning
little
all
shocked
in.
when we make it to another birthday for
That's
you.
true. But leaning into disc golf, and I guess I just thought of this as well. My 40th, now 8 years ago, my 40th birthday, I was at the NADGT, so the next, I think it was still called Next Gen at the time. I was at the NADGT regional event, and you know who I met there?
Luke?
Nope, another young superstar
No.
out of Michigan.
Kyle Klein. You met
Kyle Klein.
I was like 8 years old, a little early.
That was the weekend I met Kyle Klein and interviewed Kyle Klein, I believe on my birthday, as he was like 15 or 16. And he was there with his dad. So, wow, young Michigan superstars on my birthday. Wow.
I love to see
It's incredible.
the Midwest kids, just because we see I always feel it's just a little ounce tougher to be a disc golfer from the Midwest because of the
Conditions,
the
elements.
conditions during the winter. You know, you don't go to Florida every year for the summer yet, do you?
No,
I do not.
no. He's out shoveling snow.
That's right.
He's out there.
Like Rockies, carrying
Yeah.
logs, and
Yeah. He's out there lighting the fire at the schoolhouse. Make sure that it stays nice and warm. Uphill both ways. 3 feet of
Oh
snow.
my gosh.
That's what Luke's doing.
Absolutely. It was hard to get to school and back for me, man. I had legit walk uphill both ways
Yes.
at least 20 miles. It was just
Yeah.
terrible. In the winter in Michigan, it's that bad.
I feel you.
I believe it. Well, Luke, welcome to the show. So glad to have you.
Thank you.
Obviously, maybe even a little overdue. You've had successes before, but here we are. I'll lead with this one. We're roughly 48 hours after it's happened. You're an Elite Plus winner of the Ledgestone specifically, which obviously comes with a little extra payout and plenty of challenge over 2 courses. How has it set in, and how are you feeling now?
I feel like that's been probably the number one asked question by not only, you, but others. It's just like, how is the feeling of win set in? And it's just like, with tour, it's really hard to even know how to feel. Like, I could probably give you an even better answer the night of. It was just like the most rewarding feeling to see all of the hard work over pretty much my whole lifetime pay off into that victory, right? But now it's like I'm already over in Des Moines. I'm practicing at Pickard Park and getting ready for the next tournament this Friday already. So like, it's a grind out here. And the win was like, and it's like I sat in the success that night, packed my things, and off to the next tournament. So I think the best way to describe it is just like I've been working for that moment since I was, for over a decade now, and I'm 20. So for that to finally come to fruition is like truly just like trusting the process, and to see that come to life is really just a dream come true.
And
is the best way I can describe it.
maybe you can answer this, Luke, or maybe I need Terry's help with this. Is Luke the highest PDGA number MPO winner we've had at 102? 102,000? Is there anyone that has a higher PDGA number that has won?
That's a phenomenal question.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the results here, and I was like, oh yeah, Luke's the 6-digiter, and I was like, wait,
right?
Have we?
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that Parker Welk is much lower than me because he's been playing for forever. And,
and his parents signed him up.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wow.
I think for now I might be the highest numbered PGA winner.
What does that say for you? Now that I guess I've just sprung that on everybody.
Damn.
How do you feel
Research
about that?
department just shows up tonight. It's like a birthday present. 12 years in, Johnny's got research.
Woo! Because Ella Hansen has an Elite Series, and her number is higher on the FPO side.
Yeah,
Colin Hanley as well. But for MPO,
yeah, what does that mean for you?
How do you feel about that?
I think for me, like, if I had started playing disc golf when I got my PDGA number, I think that accomplishment in and of itself, like, it's a really cool statistic.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's just like I've been playing well before I had even that number, and like if I got it when I was born, like I would be probably 60,000s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a really cool statistic that I had no awareness of, and that's really cool. Like the first ever 6-digiter to win an MPO on the Pro Tour, that's an honor in and of itself, and I'm grateful to have that. But like, as far as just like, to me, that's just like that's a really cool statistic.
Well, let's be clear, John. We're assuming that,
we're guessing,
and it's already proven wrong because Ezra Aderhold is 121715.
Yeah.
And
damn it.
He is.
That's right.
And Ezra, I didn't see. I didn't scroll down far enough to see Ezra.
But Ezra is going to be defending his title this weekend. That's a whole
That's another cool story.
Nonetheless, you clearly still the point still stands that you're one of the not only just the youngest but one of the highest numbered and maybe least tenured in that sense. And that's still impressive. I mean, you just said it. You're 20. Think back, how old was Rodalin when he won this 3 years ago? Was he
I think
19
maybe
or 20?
I think he was either turning 18. I believe he was born in October. I believe he might have been. I guess that was 2023. So I'm going to say he was 18, going on 19 that year when he did it. Would be my guess. He could tell me wrong for sure, but he's turning 22 this year, so I think it was 18.
Yeah. So nonetheless, again, elite class of really young winners in this particular event, and obviously Gannon was right there in the thick of things as well. But is there? And I know this sounds funny because you've already won it now, but does it matter? It's this one versus like D-Glow. Would D-Glow, in a normal season when we have D-Glow, is that feel better because that would have been home state? Is there? Or are you just glad to get your first one? I mean, yeah, not that you can get too picky, but if you could be picky, does it matter?
If I could be picky, I would say it's either this one or D-Glow in a regular season.
Sure.
Obviously, a major title is something that all of us want, and I have a chance to do that this year at Worlds and at USDGC still, so that'll be really cool to have Worlds in Michigan. I think winning that title, even though it wouldn't be my first win ever, it'd still be my first major, and it would also be in my home state. And I think that would, obviously that win would mean probably even more to me. And I feel like this is honestly like as big and awesome of a win as it is, that is the pinnacle of the season. So Obviously still working towards that. I think for me, it's just like, I'm happy that the monkey's off the back. I got the first win of the events that I could win. I think that this one is probably like, Ledgestone's like my favorite tournament to play all year. North of Black is my favorite course, probably in the world, definitely in the United States. And then Lake Eureka is just so nostalgic, even for me, because I've been watching it on Joma since I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Well-
mean, yeah, I mean, as far as events to win go, Ledgestone is like top 1, 2 events. I think as far as events that don't change every year, it's probably the number 1 event that I would want to win. I love Ledgestone.
Well, you said you've been watching this since you were 7. Take us back to the start of Luke Taylor and your disc golf kind of career. How'd you start getting out there? Was it parents? Was it a cousin or an uncle? Or like, kind of bring us up to date as far as your kind of your disc golf beginnings.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite story to tell whenever people ask about it. So my mom and dad were youth ministers at a local church, and they wanted something affordable that they could do with the kids to get them outside. And that's how they discovered disc golf. So they would take them disc golfing. So since I was born, there have been discs around the house. My dad got super into it. My mom was still super into running, and now she's super big into disc golf. I feel like a lot of people know about Team Taylor Nikki on Instagram, and
Mm-hmm.
she's very vocal on all of her social media platforms. But like, so I've always had disc golf around the house, and what I would do, like, my parents never like forced me to go to tournaments or anything, right? That was like my dad's thing, and my mom's thing was running. But around the house, I would write out all the pros that I knew, and I would play bracket style tournaments, and I would do 4 players to a card, and I would just play rounds on rounds on rounds, emulating their form. Paul Macbeth always won, which is why I tried to emulate my form after him for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just my way of figuring out what felt right to me, finding my own swing, and also getting in countless reps and still making it fun, because whenever somebody threw a bad shot, like if Ricky Wysocki threw a bad shot, it was Ricky's fault. It wasn't Luke's fault. So it was never
Right.
frustrating for me, because somebody could be losing by 15. As long as one of my guys is doing good, who cares, you know?
Yep.
So, that's how I really got into it. And then I think the real turning point to where I just started playing it all the time was the 2018 USJ DGC in Vermont.
Mm.
My mom and dad let us know that we were going to Smuggler's Notch Resort probably 8 months in advance, and it was the middle of winter when she let me know that that was going on. And I played every single day before that tournament, just getting ready for it. And since then, I haven't stopped. So
That's almost a little mean. Being that early, like, 8 months from now, son, we're going to go to Vermont, you're going to play. But, there's a foot of snow out there.
Oh, I went every day shoveling off. I still shovel off all the tee pads at home and play as much as I can in the winter.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the stories that has filtered through so much of your career when we've been talking about you and you've been performing well, is just how disc golf is this family activity for you guys. And like you said, your mom on the bag for you. In fact, I think I've seen your mom, maybe 10 times to 1 compared to seeing your dad out there. And I'm guessing that's just been schedule or whatever, but she's typically been on the bag. And like you said, posting on social media, and is very active, very supportive, and a little bit of everywhere, which is awesome. You find her in a lot of different places. How much of that, family togetherness is, I don't want to say it's ingrained, but what does that mean to you, maybe, is a better way to ask that question.
I mean, it means the whole world to have both my mom and my dad in my corner. When one of them's on the road, the other one's back home watching all the kids. I have 4 younger brothers, and finally one of them, my next oldest brother, Micah, is an adult, and he's been doing his own thing this summer with camp and stuff. But I mean, it just like, you always have that constant support from back home, and that they're always in your corner, and they have been for years. So I really am just the luckiest guy, honestly, to have such an amazing family and hometown and girlfriend and just grandparent. I mean, I have so much going for me. I really am the luckiest guy.
How many within your family like regularly play? I know your mom and your dad do, but maybe just describe the disc golf family lifestyle for all of you?
Forever it wasn't this way, but this summer my brothers Peter, Matthew, and Ezra are outside playing all the time now.
Okay.
I think Peter in the back of his mind, I think thinks that would be a pretty cool job, and I'm not gonna be the brother that's just like all over him about it, like making sure that he's practicing and whatever. But it would be really special to maybe one day have another brother on tour with me.
How old
Obviously
is
we
he?
probably wouldn't be. He's 12 right
Okay.
now,
Okay.
so he's still got a little ways to go. He's either 12 or 13. Shoot,
Sure.
I don't remember.
All good.
I think he's 12. He's 12. But yeah, and he's good. He's real good. He's pretty much already a better putter than I am, and so
What?
yeah, he's real good. So we'll see where his passion lies when he's a little bit older, but right now he's kicking it. So we'll see.
And your mom and your dad both play in tournaments, right?
All the time. Yeah.
What is that like? I feel like there was one tournament where like you were maybe competing, and I think even maybe your dad was saying like he couldn't pay attention because he was watching you on live. I that could have been a scenario, or vice versa with your mom or something. Yeah. When you guys are determining who's where and when, or when maybe in the early days and maybe not as much now as you're getting older, what was that conversation like as to who was going to caddy and who was around and who was all traveling?
Right. I mean, I think they're pretty on and off. My dad's more of a homebody than my mom. And
Okay.
my mom is like, she's very avid about the game. So, when my dad pops out, he does. It's not really totally like a schedule thing, but like mom loves to travel and dad's more of just like my dad is ridiculously chill and my mom is a lot more intense. So,
Okay.
like in a good way,
Sure,
but like
sure.
she is an avid fan of disc golf and so is my dad, but there's different levels to this. So
And where I mean, Johnny has kids, I have kids, and I always think about like the mesh of whose personality shines through. Where do you place yourself, and maybe answer it both on and off the course? How do you feel like you align in terms of your chill?
I feel as time has gone on, I feel like I've definitely progressed. Like as I've gotten older, I slowly become more chill. I like being a little bit more easygoing, more at the flow because tour kind of forces you to be. Like it's not like you have a permanent home. You're living out of a
Right.
suitcase. You're traveling to a bunch of different locations. And if you need to have like this permanent style of how you do things, you're not gonna be able to have the chill you need to do on the course to excel at your job. So I think my whole approach has just been like, I'm good with whatever. Like just, give me an air mattress, a place to stay, and I'll figure it out. And obviously, like I feel like I've become more chill, but I haven't always been that way. I used to be a much more of a head case and a hothead, and now I feel like
So
I'm taking steps back from that.
were mom and dad watching live?
Dad was there.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad was there. Okay.
Dad was on the green with me. My girlfriend was caddying for
Yep.
me. She's a phenomenal caddy. Lily's the best. But then like Dad was right there. Dad was playing MP40, so he got done with his round,
Mm.
put in the directions as fast as he could, drove over to the course. He met us on the tee pad of hole 17 of the final round, and we gave him nugs and everything. But I was just like locked in. I'm like,
Mhm.
Dad's here now. That's really cool, but I got a job to do, right? And then Mom was back home with the kids for that tournament, and she considered driving down, I think, but with all the kids, it would have just been. I mean, Ezra, my youngest brother, is still 6, and they're
Sure.
not great road trippers yet. So,
So
Yeah.
mom got to watch live.
oh yeah, they all freaked out when I won. So.
I was just trying to imagine like your family watching this.
Mm.
You're starting to get hot on hole 14 or 15, and you're like, okay, because at one point during that final round, from a viewer's perspective, a lot of us almost wrote you off. Like, oh gosh,
Right.
Luke was close, but the way Sully and Gannon are playing, I just don't think he can probably catch them. And then you started birdieing and birdieing and birdieing. And it was like, all right, well, he's not out of it, but I mean, it's going to be tough to get past Sully and Gannon, right? And then suddenly it was kind of like 17 happens and the whole script is flipped. Like, at what point did you maybe turn to your dad or your caddy and just kind of be like, we have a chance? Or did you always in the back of your head think you had a chance?
So this is kind of how the story went. On the walk from hole 11 to hole 12, I had just putted OB on 11. It was just like, bruh, it's just like all that's going through your mind there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we'll see what happens. I'm still not out of it. There's a lot of golf to be played, a lot of two-stroke swings to be had at Eureka. So I'm never going to be the guy that gives up. Like, I'm going to see what happens, right? They all throw their drives OB on hole 12, and I'm like, man, I'm right back in this. I missed my putt for birdie on hole 12. Air ball, in fact. Incredible effort.
Yeah, I think we all heard
like,
you.
well,
I think we might have all heard you on the broadcast too say something along that line.
Just like, I mean, probably like dang it or something like that.
Right.
What I did a really good job of, I feel like, was regulating my emotions. Like I said, like I allowed myself to get frustrated, to a point, but I never, ever, ever let it affect my next shot, which is something that I've always struggled with. So I was very proud of that. I know that missed putts happen, and under high pressure situations, I'm not perfect. I might miss a couple here and there. The important thing was I never gave up, and I remember going into hole 13 being like, okay, I'm 3 back of Sully, I'm 1 back of Gannon, and I turned to Lily and I'm like, I know what I have to do, but I just don't know yet if I can do it. But I'm going to keep fighting. And what I meant by that was I almost didn't want to jinx it, but I was like, I need to birdie out. And if I birdie out, I might still win this tournament. And then, like you said, it just started to happen, right? The pieces started falling into place. On 14, I got 1 stroke closer. I was tied with Gannon. Gannon throws his drive bat on 15. Now I'm ahead of Gannon. In solo second place. And I know the island hole's there. So it was just a matter of just like, I put the drive inbounds on 17, and you just got to step back and see what happens. And then it happened. So,
I know I kind of touched on this a little bit, and I know disc golf is obviously an individual sport, except for that one weekend at the Preserve. It's an individual sport, and you have teams, and you have friendships, and then you have off-the-course relationships, organizations, and all of these different ties, whether they're sponsor-related or religious or whatever. You have all these different factions and cliques and ties and all of this stuff. But what is it when you're there with the likes of Gannon and Sully? And I ask that because I feel like those two are maybe a little bit closer than if you were, say, on the card with, Greg Barsby and Double G, who are great guys and maybe you're good friends with them. But I feel like those, the guys that you ultimately were on that final card with, I feel like you're a little closer with them. And I know you play warm-up rounds with Adam Hammis as well, who wasn't as much in contention. But what's it like playing with those guys who you're so close to?
Yeah, well, I mean, to break it down for you, I think a good place to start is just real quick mentioning round 3 with Sully, Gavin Babcock, and Gannon.
Right.
We were all on the warm-up green, and I was putting at a different basket. And they were all just like inside jokes and like I'm close with all those guys. Like those guys are all like fun to play with. I enjoy getting to play rounds with them, hanging out with them whenever I can. Mm-hmm. Gannon and I are the closest. I'm closer with Gannon than either of those other two guys. But going into the final round, like Sully and Gannon are super close. I'm friends with Gannon. I'm friends with Sully. I'm closest probably with Adam. And I mean, it's just it. Yeah, I really think when you're playing for the win, it's you're able to set that aside. At least for me, I'm like I'm such a I think Gannon said it in his interview with you, Terry. Like, and Gannon says that he's the most competitive person on tour, and then I'm right behind him, and I'll be a little competitive here and say I'm the most competitive person on tour, and Gannon's right behind me.
I'm more competitive.
So right, exactly. So there's just like it was really cool to get to play with those guys and get to share that memory with them because I am friends with all of them, but also when you're playing for the win, you're playing for the win. Yeah. And I was just like I'm zoned in on what I'm doing and I'm going to try to keep executing my game. but obviously afterwards, like, I think Sully and I both shouted each other out in each other's posts. Like,
Right.
it was an amazing battle, an exciting battle, and both of us were very grateful to be a part of it. And I know when he gets his first win, I'm going to be right there, on the green, there to congratulate him because it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. At the end of the day, business is business, and yeah, you're there trying to win it. Speaking of which, real quick, as a note, 2020. I was just looking quickly again. Our research department on cue tonight. No, 2024. Your winnings were for the year were about. Come on. I was going to say about 30,000. No, excuse me, 35,000.
35,000.
In 2024, your winnings were about 35,000. And then in 2025, last year, your winnings were 29,000. With this weekend, when you add in the 15K first place, and we're not talking bonuses, which I know you're going to cash in on, I hope, you're already at 31,000. I always have to ask, where's the splurge? What extra item, thing that's been on the wish list? Maybe it's sitting in a Best Buy or an Amazon shopping cart already, just on the wish list. Where is there a splurge going to be? Give me something.
Where is the splurge going to be? Well, I need new shoes.
Okay.
I need new shoes, and I've always been the kind of guy that likes to, save it. Something Ezra Aderhold has talked to me about this year has been learning how to invest it. So that might not be a totally bad decision. So maybe that would be something to look into, something to splurge on.
Clearly a nice dinner with Lily, right? That's
splurge.
That's
a given.
Okay,
yeah,
that's a given.
Well, that's actually a really cool story. Tomorrow is actually our 1 year, so we will be going out to a nice dinner tomorrow.
Heck yeah, even nicer now.
I know she was expecting Applebee's nice, not anymore. Yeah. Now it's gonna be you're talking Outback nice now.
Yeah,
we'll find somewhere, but yeah, no. So that's gonna be really cool. But yeah, I mean, my mind is also pretty future oriented too. Like, disc golf is the dream career, and it's already such like a great pleasure to play. Like, I don't need something super nice. Like, I have everything that I need already. And, I think honestly, just keeping the money in my pocket so that I can have it to help save up for a house one day, save up for, a nice new vehicle. Like, I'm pretty oriented on those things. And also, tour is really expensive. So, if you're not careful with your money, things can happen. So, I definitely think right now I'm just I'm okay with saving some stuff. And, the paycheck is definitely nice, and it's I'm very grateful for it, obviously. Like, it's awesome. But I'm just gonna keep grinding because I just love the process so much. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got a new phone screen protector, so that's cool.
Ooh, yeah,
love it.
That's an investment in your phone. So there you go. Right?
No, I mean,
I went and got groceries.
Okay. No, I love that you're sensible, and obviously you got a good head on your shoulders that you're not worried about. Well, there's, I've really been looking into
this Rolex.
This Rolex
like
or
Xbox
whatever.
Game.
Exactly. But if you did, I mean, I'm gonna say it.
If let's see. What's something nice that I could get myself? That would be really cool. Maybe like a new putter for golf. Golf's one of my favorite hobbies.
Okay.
I could see like if I was gonna splurge on anything, I think that would be something really cool to get, because I like my putter all right, but it's nothing too special. Yeah,
see,
I mean, I guess, yeah. Like,
how about a
those
fishing
things,
reel?
like
New rod or reel?
yeah, my own personal rod I just get to carry around with me. That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, yeah, mostly new shoes though. I gotta keep my money for shoes, Terry, man. I run for shoes like nobody's business.
I mean, I guess that you said that, and I can appreciate it. And I think about trying to hunt down shoes for Calvin, who's very particular about his particular, very specific shoe brand and model or two that he likes. Does that maybe answer the question that neither of our current shoe brands in Vessi or EDO are who you currently aligned with? That's what that is. That what that hint is? You're not aligned with either.
I don't wear either. I don't wear either brand right now.
Okay.
Yes.
And I am always going to be, I'm not going to say always because obviously, like, keep my options open, but I'm a really big fan of Adidas Terexes, and
Okay.
they are great.
Okay.
I've played in Terexes pretty much, well, I mean, ever since Simon Lizotte and Macbeth started wearing Terexes on Jomas, that has been my disc golf shoe. And I'm going to stick there for sure.
I've tried Terexes as well. The other last time I went to buy new shoes, I was like, everybody swears by these Terexes. I'm going to go try them. They just didn't fit my feet comfortably. They're a skinnier shoe than I like. I like a little bit of a wider shoe because I got a big old honker foot. But like, I was so disappointed. Truly, I was just like, oh, I really wanted to try these, and they don't work for me. I was kind of sad.
You get for being a giant.
That's part of it.
Okay, and I'm not trying to. I only ask because we see such representation of both of those companies.
Yeah.
They're both very much involved in disc golf.
Great, well-respected companies, and if they ever shot an offer my way, I'm not going to say no to that.
Okay, okay. And then along those lines, I mean, I know we're talking a little bit of money, but you got a couple of great sponsors. I assume
absolutely.
There's some potential for a commemorative disc. That seems like that's the obvious no-brainer. But disc, and then hopefully there's a little extra cash or bonus coming your way from a few of your companies.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that it's all in the works.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good. It should be.
Yeah.
And this is your first year on the elite team for Discraft, isn't it?
Yeah, they took one of the first things I said, Bob came up to me on the green, and he was like, great work, congratulations, all that jazz. But I was also just like, thank you for taking a shot on me, and throwing in your bid with me, and giving me a chance. So I'm very happy to have gotten the win. Because I felt a little out of place, honestly. The elite team is such an honor, such prestige, but I wasn't a proven winner. I hadn't proven that I could be somebody that could really, monetize the company in the way that maybe they were searching for. But now I feel like, I've proven that I can play the game to that point. And I'm doing a whole bunch of work outside of just my play. Like, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, promote discs all over social media if I can, like whatever comes out. Like I've definitely upped my social media game more this year than I ever have in my life, and I'm very, very thankful that that's starting to pay off too.
So this year, I was just looking at your stats. You've had, as Terry kind of mentioned, minus the 15,000 from this weekend. You've had a pretty decent season. You've cashed it all, but looks like all
great
but
season.
Yeah, all but Waco. That was going to be my question.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It's just an A tier. It's just an A tier, and to be fair, we know Waco is kind of, I don't want to say fluky, but there's a lot of different things at Waco. Like some players can just play really well one week, and you can be off a little bit, and it's Waco. There's always kind of some craziness at Waco. Would you say that for your first year on the elite team, you're happy with your season so far? Would you have said that a week ago versus now? Did you feel any pressure to win?
No, I didn't feel any pressure to win, which is, I think part of the reason why. Like, the thing that's been really useful this year has been learning to manage those expectations. Mm-hmm. Like knowing that I'm going to be okay regardless of the outcome of an event, and also getting my game to the point where I'm consistent enough to always be in the cash is super big. Obviously, nobody's invincible. I'm not going to sit here and say that, every event I play from now on is going to be perfect, but I would say this season so far had been the best success of my career. I know that finishing in 4th place at Worlds was awesome, but I only had 5 top 10s that year. I had already had 4 top 10s this year before that, including a solo 4th place at Big Easy, which technically gives it the bump as my best finish on tour. Maybe not the one that like Worlds was huge, right? That was a really big deal, but that was my best finish to date, which is also ironic because that was the first event that Lily ever caddied for me at, and Ledgestone was the second one that she has ever caddied
come
for me
on.
at.
So, just hand her the check already.
Do you think?
I know where this is going.
I was going to say, do you think Mom's a little upset? She was like, what? When I was in your caddy, you couldn't?
Yeah. You took me to Subway. Now you're taking Lily to Outback? Come on.
I mean, it's what I'm saying, though.
Okay. Something to be said there.
She has made the difference, and she's going to be at Des Moines, too. So,
okay.
Okay.
So,
not saying, anything crazy, but.
For us to apply,
just real quick, I mean, just like to finally answer the question, I feel like I've kind of beat around the bush. This has been my best season so far. Before this tournament, I was 11th in tour points, and now I'm 8th in tour points. And I feel like that's kind of the best way to look at it is where you are in those standings. And I'm far and away better than I have been any other year, and I've cashed at every Pro Tour event. There's nothing for me not to love with this season, and so far it's been a great success.
Yeah, it must just feel good in general to be able to look right at Bob and be and almost feel validated as to you picked me and I came through.
Right.
In the first year, like they're obviously they're very well known for their relationships and their support for many years. But they placed a long-term bet on you, and you came up as a short-term bet. This was great.
Right away. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, especially with the success rate that she's had, Lily not able to tour full time with you. Where is she? I don't need her coordinates, but why can't she tour with you? Does she have a full time job elsewhere, or does other things, or
I mean, she's got a great summer job, and she's going to college, and I'm proud of her for both of those things. So I'm not gonna take her away from that. Like that's. I support her fully in that. It's a no-brainer for me. Like she's doing great work on her own too, and I'm very grateful that she's able to be out here for these two events, and she'll also be at Worlds, which will be really cool too.
Does she? I know
who to bet on now.
I know. I was just gonna say, has she looked at you yet and been like, "What are you doing all the other weeks I'm not with you? This is like she's showing up and you're just performing, and then she's got to be thinking."
I'm just the other weeks I'm just getting in my head more. It really does make a difference to have her on the bag. She helps me stay focused on what I'm doing. Truly.
When she's not around, the previous couple of weeks, do you have a caddy at all? Is it something you kind of recruit? We know sometimes some of the guys will just grab maybe a local kid who's kind of hanging around. Like what's been your go-to, or is it just kind of self caddy?
For me, I don't like having anybody on the bag that I'm not already friends with or close with. That's just not me. It's not how I like to roll. I feel like there has to be some sort of personal relationship there. My next oldest brother, Micah, got to fly out to Portland where I took 6th, and he was on the bag for me all weekend. So I, maybe there's like some success correlation there. I was playing very well in Austin, Texas. I had a caddy for I think the first couple rounds, but he's the assistant TD, so he had to kind of step away from that role. But he also like walked with my card basically all of round 3, which was really cool. So like obviously there's some correlation there. I feel like it just helps me when I'm able to. Yeah, and I have to, and I know that I can play well without a caddy as well, but it definitely helps to have somebody you're close with on the bag there to help you out. Also it's a lot less strain on the body too when you're not having to carry your own bag around. So I think that's why Gannon's always got a caddy. So
right. That's been his secret all this time.
Let's take away his caddy, and then then everybody else has a chance.
Is there? This is a little bit of a leading question. Is there? Checking your record. Let's start there. Do you know what the record is between you and Gannon? Before I ask the next question, like your head-to-head record.
Let me put it this way. Over the last 3 seasons, I've won once every year. So I believe it's 3 and however many losses. I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Well, you close. It looks like you two have been in, let me do some quick math, 66 tournaments together. According to Statmando, you've been in 66 tournaments together.
Okay.
You have tied twice.
Yep.
You
the
have
preserve in 2024 is one of them.
Okay.
That's one
you
of the
have
ties.
Beat him 5 total times.
Yes.
In tournaments, and he has got the best of you 59 other times.
You didn't have to say the number. You could have just said the rest of
Okay.
the time.
So you're
it's
59 and 2 against him.
Great. That's a great record. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
No, I mean,
Honestly,
really? Yeah, you've got 5. That's
No,
more than
I'm
a lot
joking.
of people.
I'm
No, that's
I'm
more than a
joking.
lot of people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a lot of people that are saying whenever they beat Gannon, they're like, yeah, I can tell my kids I beat this guy.
Right.
So,
I mean,
Right.
have you talked with, since your win, you talked with Andrew Marweed at all? Like, does he feel a little bit better about your doubles kind of look now? It's like I'm looking at the no mish all makes, one of the better team names, by the way. I do like it quite a bit. Does he have a little bit of a smiler? What was that?
Shout out Andy for the team name, but also he did shoot me a message after the win, and he was like, that it was like awesome. I could pull up the actual receipts, but at the end he's like, that's my partner in all caps. So
yeah.
I definitely feel like we haven't done anything practicing together, but we've played tournaments together for years, even before he was on tour full time, and obviously before I was too. He's a phenomenal putter. Not to toot my own horn. I'm a great thrower of the disc. I think we will fare very, very well in the best shot rounds, and I'm putting my butt off right now to hopefully carry my own weight in that final round. So I think we're definitely a sneaky pick for that tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us do very well out there together.
The confidence I like.
Well, and I was just thinking about the name, obviously both from Michigan, but then we see some balling, right? Like you and Gannon just posted a video of the two of you, you setting him up for a dunk, and then we know that Marweed not only plays himself but was also a coach for some time over in Michigan, right? Basketball coach. So for anyone not putting it all together, there's a little bit of what I believe is the backstory for you two, but very exciting, crazy to see. He's rated 1038. You're rated 1037. So on paper, but yet maybe describe how different your games are. Like,
yeah, I'll break it down for you. I'm a big bomber. I like throwing a bunch of different shot shapes. I got a lot of power, both sides of the disc. And it's great. I'm a pretty solid putter as far as tour standards go. I'm probably at least a little bit above average in that category. But also, there's a lot of people that are better than me at putting. Andy is one of them.
right.
He is the season leader in C1X putting for many, many years. Not necessarily, this year's not over yet. He might get there. I don't know if he might even be leading right now. I'm pretty sure he is, actually. I've talked to Paul
I was
Kranz
just
about
going to
that
look.
today.
Yeah, he is 95.23.
Yeah, 95.23% in C1. He's the best putter from Circle 1 on tour.
Then it goes Matt Bell, Paul Kranz, Clay
Matt
Edwards,
Bell.
and then you, Lee.
And all right.
And I'm scrolling to find you later in the list.
I'm like 82%. It's not great. It's like a B minus for tour grade.
Andrew Marweed is 4th in C2 putting, which ain't too shabby either.
No, he's a phenomenal putter. He's made a name for himself just being consistent, dude. I mean, the guy does not miss cash, and he's an all around. He's a great guy, an all around amazing player, and he complements my game probably better than anybody, in terms of just two guys that are rated around the same that have very, very different play styles. It'll be very cool to get to work with him, at Preserve and, really dial it in. I know I'm excited about it, and I know he is too.
And I've said this about this time of year for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm like, we're getting into Marweed time. Like this seems to be the area of the season that he tends to play the best at. The more wooded courses.
Me and him both. Yeah, he and I. Yeah.
Like the Circle 2 putting when it matters more, Circle 1 putting, less of the bomber courses, a little bit more of the accuracy, the forehand, all those things that he has.
The Preserve is a great course for him.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a few bomber shots out there, but very few. There's not so, and obviously I don't know what changes they've made. There are a few longer holes for sure, but I got him covered. So we're gonna do A-okay out there. And I know he's put together some great finishes at Preserve as well. So
right, yeah. Thinking about this upcoming weekend, And you said it earlier. You said, it's kind of what have you done for me lately? By Sunday night, you're packing up. You're moving to a totally different location. The tour keeps going. You get plenty of accolades and pat on the back, and maybe you buy a new pair of shoes, but you got to play golf again. Friday afternoon, you'll be on the feature card, one of the feature cards, come Friday afternoon to start the 3-day event that is Des Moines. We're not there yet, but what do you think will feel different as you step up and get ready to throw come Friday afternoon?
I mean, the only difference for me before Ledgestone and now is that I'm a tour champion. And I feel like the only thing that I can let that do is build my confidence. I'm going to try to keep this momentum rolling. And that's all I can do. I think if I can execute mentally the same way I did last tournament, I'll fare just fine. Pickard especially with the changes that have been made to the course, which we're going to get to see this year. It's further, and it's going to play a lot harder. I think the course suits my game even better, and I absolutely love playing out there. So I'm very excited to get this tournament rolling too. I'll be ready for Friday.
We're going to more than likely see you on a feature card. That's just the way it works,
Yes.
Yeah, and did they announce
spoiler?
Feature?
Well, I'll spoil it now. He'll be on the feature card.
I mean, it's no surprise that the previous winner is almost always either on the lead card, sometimes the chase card, but you're probably going to get lead card
one
coverage.
Of the 2 feature cards.
And you're going to get to hear that when you step up to the tee, You're 2026 Ledgestone champion, Luke Taylor, and then you're going to be able to get on the tee with all the applause. Are you going to be able to focus that first shot, or is
okay? I'll be all right.
All right, locked. He's locked.
I mean, obviously, I can't say where the shot's going to go necessarily.
Okay.
But if I throw it bad, it won't be because I'm so focused on that announcement. I think it'll just be really cool to hear like one-time tour winner, or something like that.
Excuse me if you mentioned it, but you're in Des Moines. Did you have time to get to the course today and play it? Okay. So in referencing some of the changes, what jumps out at you the most?
I feel like the course is going to play probably 3 to 4 strokes harder. The changes that they have made are definitely going to up the difficulty to where you're probably not going to see those like scorching 13s. I feel like you're going to see a lot more people shooting 5, 6 under. That's going to be great. And I feel like the overall winning score is going to get dropped quite a bit, maybe even 10 strokes. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be good. And overall, I like the changes, especially for me because, like I said, the adding of the distance is going to make a few holes inaccessible. I feel and I fear for some of the players in the field. But for me, it just suits my game all that much more. So I feel like I feel more comfortable on Pickard Park right now than I ever have my whole career.
Nice. And with all of that, your confidence is probably as high as it's ever been too. So both physically and mentally.
Not in like a cocky way, I'm going to tear it up, but just in like I feel good about where I'm at in terms of just my game on the disc golf course.
For sure. What any specifics that you can let me in on? I'm going to be out there. I'll get out there and see some of the creators challenge stuff on Thursday night. But specifically, like what jumps out at you as some of the most drastic changes?
They've pushed back the tee pad on hole 6 a little bit, and they've added a hazard bubble to the fairway. You have to choose to either pitch short, right of, or past the hazard bubble.
Okay.
And it all just depends on what you're most comfortable with off the tee, of course, but also your most comfortable shot going into the green. I've been pitching up short and then launching a distance driver sidearm in there. It almost takes touch out of it, and the angle's a lot better from over to the left short side of the bubble. Hole 8, they've adjusted the tee pad, so now we're throwing kind of into the woods rather than trying to like kind of control it all the way down to the green. And they did that so that they could push the tee pad back on hole 9 about 100 feet. Now the hole is playing like 450 feet uphill, big turnover. Hole 10, the par 5, they pushed backwards and right about another 300 feet.
What?
The hole is 1,086 feet now. The tee shot is roughly a 420 foot like backhand turnover. I'm throwing a stable force on Anheuser out at it. basically a full shot.
Get your walking shoes,
12
Miller.
is 12 is 100 feet further than it was, the little short double Mando hole.
Yep. Okay.
Now I'm throwing a nuke forehand into the ground and trying to get some ground play up to the pin. And hole 13, instead of the forehand around the corner, is now a 435-foot straight shot. Probably my favorite of all of the changes. It's a really, really cool hole, just a great design. And then the finishing stretch, they kept all the same.
Okay.
The first 5 and the last 5 are the same.
Okay.
Completely.
Yeah, definitely some very significant changes for sure out there. You said you like them, and maybe it's the same answer, but were they necessary? You feel like they were necessary?
I feel like what they've done is they've made it so less people have the opportunity to win the tournament.
Okay.
By Gannon and the rest of the course staff extending the course, they've made it so that this tournament is going to bring the best players to the top of the leaderboard and take some players. And over 3 rounds, the course is going to weed out people whose game doesn't really suit this style of golf. By making it further. So the reason I say that I feel like these changes are good for me is because as far as distance goes, I do have a lot of power on both sides of the disc. So it definitely makes a difference for me. But yeah, I mean, that's what I mean by it. I like them for me.
Right.
Overall, I don't totally feel like they're necessary, but as far as the tier of the course goes, I still believe it's an A-tier course and one of the best that we play all year. I'm excited to play it for the tournament.
Does not to sidetrack too much, but a very valid discussion point going on right now would be Ezra Aderhold, of course, busted out and got his first win here at this event last year. He's not had a stellar season up until this point. I think by his standards, we can all agree on that. Adding more distance to this course doesn't sound like that's going to hurt him either. Would that be a fair statement?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think that's one of the interesting storylines that we'll for sure be discussing as we roll into the weekend. We've seen a lot of first-time winners on FPO and MPO side at this particular event, and we'll see if maybe, you coming off of your first win, and now, like we just said, Ezra trying to defend a title that he captured there himself. So I'll be excited to see how it's all going to play out.
There'll be some cool storylines to follow for sure. Like will Gannon finish in the top 10 at this tournament this year?
If right. Like, yeah.
Not to bash Gannon too hard, but like last year he finished in the top 10 at almost every tournament. And this was just happened to be the one where he finished 13th. You're like, I feel like I'm probably going to receive some flack from this, but I'm pretty close friends with Gannon, and if I talked to him about it, he'd be all right with it. But I'll be interested to see. And, I don't know, maybe I'll be playing with him on Friday. So, I'll get to see exactly how it goes in person. But
No, and I'll spoil it a little. We had a production conversation today among the production crew and the producer and director, and then all of us talent folk. And that was a storyline. Like, Gannon hasn't played, he's won here, but he also has other times where he hasn't played exceptionally well here. And there's a lot of conversation about pressures and other things and obligations, and we've had crazy weather, and there's a lot of other components to that. But when we're used to seeing Gannon win more often than not and or be in the top 10, it feels weird to say.
It's a shocker when he's not.
Exactly. So thank you. That's exactly what we were certainly discussing. So anything can happen come this weekend, and Johnny's pulling up the weather. It looks like it might.
It looks great.
Yeah.
There could be a little bit of rain on Friday. We're still a few days away, so no one, grain of salt, because everything can shift hours forward or backward. Right now it looks like there's rain in the middle of the MPO round, but that could shift later. That could shift to the FPO round.
I'm not worried.
We have a few days. Really, what I was kind of poking around at is you mentioned that your dad rushed over from his tournament, so to speak, because I think they're technically 2 separate events.
Right. Yeah. Well, his round, his tournament. Yep.
Yeah. And he took 9th in MP40.
Yeah.
Like, that's nothing he lost to Joe Revere, who won, but I was looking around, and maybe you've thought about this. Is there any better father-son combo out there that you can think of right now? Who?
No.
Because your dad's
The
rated
only one that I could
994.
think of would be Isaac and Ezra's dad, because Isaac and Ezra, one of the two brothers and their father versus me and my dad would be an interesting matchup for sure, because their dad is rated, I believe, like 970. But I think my dad and I would win in a doubles match.
Yeah.
We've played doubles together several times, and we'll just say Team Taylor in Michigan doubles is a scary thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, 994. We should be interviewing his dad. I mean,
Right,
let's be
right.
honest.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal disc golfer. He's one of the best disc golfers in Michigan, and he has been for years.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of other. If scroll down a little, and I'm going to kind of do a quick. Another one that comes to mind, and he wasn't playing this weekend. The dad wasn't, but Bamba Rico and his son Cam Rico.
Bamba and Cam.
Cam's rated 1010. Bamba in his heyday was 1,000-ish, but now is rated 941. So they're not quite hanging with you guys. Avery Jenkins' son's too young just yet. Little I don't know if there's any other.
I mean, just it takes
Josh and Luke is a dangerous team.
Yeah,
that's
we'll make sure to.
Was there ever any thought to you and he playing preserve, or was it always you and Andrew?
No, I was gonna be me and Andy. I mean, that would be really cool when you mention it, but it'll be. Yeah, it's just hard to get him out to a bunch of events.
Of course.
So.
I mean, just 994.
Also it counts for, I think it counts for points in some essence too. So having Andy, on my team is, he's
Right. There's no doubt. I was just thinking how interesting of a storyline that could be, father son.
Right.
Because we've seen we have brothers
and
right. But that's awesome. Yeah, your dad's a heck of a golfer.
Yeah, very
true
cool.
story.
So this weekend you're all locked in. Is there? I don't want to say is there any other takeaways from this last week? I mean, that thought comes to mind, but what do you feel like you've learned otherwise? Yes, you've come out successful, but is there any other nugget where you're like, something you can take home, something you could write in your journal, or you can absolutely etch in stone at this point in coming away from a win like that?
I mean, as far as like anything else that we haven't really talked about, like, it feels amazing to get the monkey off the back. It's the dream I've had as a kid. So like, writing that down and just being like, pro tour and winner, like, I mean, getting to go to the Instagram bio and be like one-time Elite Series winner, like that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. I know that's the thing that I get to etch in stone. And honestly, obviously I get to carry that with me to all the tournaments now. And honestly, winning a tournament is an advantage in a field of players, like not everybody has. And, a lot of people, haven't recently. So it's like, like in a sense, it is a little bit of an advantage, which is really cool too. But I also just think just like the experience of that final round, like it was a roller coaster for me. I started off really hot. It just came to a screeching halt in the middle, and then I caught fire again at the end to end up walking home with the victory. So I just feel like, I got to see myself fight through adversity and come out on top for the first time to truly clutch up when it mattered most. And I feel like just being able to carry that factor with me the remainder of the tournaments this season and forever is going to make it a lot easier to hopefully continue that trend of success.
Well, speaking of clutching up, I think one of the comments that was made, live on air as Perkins and Philo were talking about it, was your approach on 18 and what your game plan was there. Maybe just kind of break down, when you stepped up to that and or where you had practiced from. Had that ever crossed your mind before? All those types of things when you landed where you did. And was that an ideal landing zone for you in the first place?
Well, no. My shot should never land that side of the gazebo ever.
Okay.
It happened too this time, which was, I think a lot of people would watch that shot on 18. In fact, everybody would watch that shot on 18 and say that was a very fortunate break. I'm not going to say that it wasn't either.
Mm-hmm.
The first time that I had ever seen that line taken, truly, I believe, or like that I can remember, I played a practice round with Austin Turner, and he practiced it. I know that other players have done it in the past. That's not my landing zone. My landing zone is another, probably not 70, but like 60 feet up the fairway and much further right, to the
Okay.
point where I like round one, I had a zone forehand into the green. And there I had to go distance driver terminator forehand over the water. As like I'm just like I'm not going to leave it short. So like I had to adapt. It's not a shot that I had practiced. No, it was a decision that I made on the spot because I knew I had to birdie. My other option was to go fairway driver way right, but there were just too many trees in the way. Much touchier shot height wise. I was like, this is the shot. This is how I'm going to have to get this done. So I'm just happy to say that I committed to it. If it hadn't hit the tree that it hit, it would have been 35 feet up the hill and right in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
I would have still had a putt for the victory. But again, just I'm happy it landed right where it did. I mean, who doesn't want a 20-footer for the win at any tournament? So,
and before you went up to that 20-footer, you had a little handshake with Lily.
Oh, the little dap up with Lily.
Yeah, little dap.
That's tough.
Do you do that before every putt, or is that something? Is that a special thing, or is that just like
it is now?
We started doing it. I don't think we'll abuse the power of it. Obviously it worked really well there. But we started doing it from 14 on because I had been struggling on the green, quite frankly, and it was just a way of like me just like mentally preparing to go make a putt, and it worked every time. It was incredible how proficient that was. But that wasn't a way of us being like cocky, like I won already. I still had to make the putt. It was just something that we had been doing, and I was like, one more time, we're gonna do it one more time. So I didn't even know that Adam was gonna go tap out before I putted until I watched that on Jomez a little bit ago, because that had popped up at one point. I'm like, what do you mean Adam tap out before me? No, it was my turn to putt. But like I didn't see him looking over at me at all.
Well, that kind of leads to what was going to be my next question, which is, and I asked this whether you've won 10 times but especially on your first, did you, and knowing you're a student of the game, did you go back and then fully watch not just Jomez, as you're just indicating, but Jomez and or live? Did you watch back any of that? And then if so, what did they get right or wrong in some of the analysis or breakdown?
I mean, I guess I can't think of like anything specifically that anybody was really getting right or wrong.
Okay.
It was cool to go back and watch and be like, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Big Germ and I know Yuli knew for sure what the result of the tournament had been.
Yeah,
he called me that night to congratulate me. It was awesome. Like, I mean, on all the broadcasts, it's just like Sully fending off Gannon. I'm in the mix, kind of, but and that's the storyline. And then 17 happens, and all of it's completely flipped upside down. And that's how it was. For me too. It's like I'm gonna keep applying pressure. I'm on the top of the box. I'm gonna keep trying to birdie every hole, do what I can. On hole 16, I'm like, I could still win this thing. It's far from over. Like I'm not. There's not a single part of me that is like out of it, right? But like, yeah, I went back and I watched the last 6 holes on live coverage that night, and I watched Jomez. I'm very, very avid student of the game, for sure. I guess that was like the only thing. It's just like a lot of people are like, Luke was not really supposed to, like, he wasn't the scripted winner. It seemed like coming down the stretch. But then
maybe
all of a
just
sudden
unlikely.
he was leading. Right, unlikely to win the tournament for 99% of the event. And then all of a sudden it's not that anymore. Stepping up to hole 18, like I was like, oh my gosh, I have a chance to win. Like if I birdie this hole, I win Ledgestone. So
it's funny because you stepped up to that putt on 18, and I was watching up in my living room, and I was glued to the TV screen at that point. I was like, oh, wow, this is going to happen. This is awesome. And I was like, all right, all he's got to do is hit this 20-footer. You release the disc, it hits the chains, and you immediately celebrate. And all I thought in my gut was like, he celebrated like a half an instant too early in my heart. Like only because I've seen so many discs like do weird things. I don't think that thing hit the bottom of the bucket before you were cheering. It was still like, it's solid chains. And then you kind of were like, yes. And of course it fell in the bucket. The odds of it not happening. But all I thought like in my gut was like, oh good, it's in. Like, were you nervous? How rate your nervousness level for that putt?
I know chain start. Well, I guess. Well, I'll break down like I guess the fear of spitting out real quick. I know chain star pros can spit out in two places, and it's the low ring and the like middle of the pole high on hyzer. That putt was flat, driven in the middle, so I wasn't worried about it at all, not even for a second. That was not a spit out putt, and if it had and it hadn't gone in, I would have looked like a fool for sure. But I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried about that. I was just so stoked it went in. Yeah, I was nervous. I knew all eyes were on me. Part of that was going through my brain and my routine. But by the time that I went to putt it, there wasn't really a single part of me that doubted that it was going to go in. I know in my interview, like I'm saying, like I still can't believe it went in. You know, like more so just saying like I can't believe I just won the tournament. But I also said in the interview like I knew that it had to, and like then I knew that it was like I knew that this was finally like my turn to win. So yeah, and then when it hit the chains, just all of the emotion that I had been doing, I felt a really good job hiding the entire round, finally just erupted out of me. I was just like, yeah, and finally I can release the tension. You know, I don't have to keep my poker face on anymore.
Yeah, the fact that Dad didn't rush the green, like to me, I was like, I don't know how.
I mean, he hugged. Yeah.
I would have, if it was my kid, and again, we have the benefit of having kids, so we kind of have that connection. Like, someone would have to be holding me back. Yeah. I'd be like, Terry, I need you to hold me back if my kid's going to hit this putt because I'm going right at that green.
Yeah, my dad actually filmed it, and then cheered after. But my dad is just, he's a different breed, man. Yeah. He's a chill man. Josh is a chill guy.
That's why he's rated 994 and we're like 930.
That's
right?
True,
like...
true. Yes, clearly, yes, has all emotion under control. What was your schedule? Did you get right out of town on Sunday night, or were you? I mean, you're not even old enough to drink, which is funny. Not that saying that would be a priority anyway. But yeah, what was even the routine on Sunday night?
Sunday night, went out to Texas Roadhouse with my girlfriend and my dad to celebrate. We all went back to the hotel that we were in that week and jumped in the pool. That was fun. Overall, just a really chill night with my dad and my girlfriend. And I called my mom and signed some autographs. I mean, it was honestly just the way that I like to celebrate, which is low key and just enjoying time with the people that I'm closest to. So very, very grateful for that Sunday night for me. You know, I love to have fun. I'm not a drinker or a smoker or anything like that, but I'm more of a low key guy for sure. It was my ideal celebration, just nothing too crazy, just some Texas Roadhouse, and it's always going to be enough for me.
Texas Roadhouse needs a sponsor the disc golf because every winner seems to go there, and I guess when Gannon intends to win a lot of events, that's their choice. So ultimately, Texas Roadhouse sees their fair share of winners, but then you get to go there as well.
Yeah, they're in the right place. They're in the right places for these celebrations. I want to talk about the Terminator in a second, but first I wanted to ask, social media. You said you're building your YouTube channel.
This doesn't hurt, by the way.
Right. And I guess that was my question is, do you still have a whole bunch of DMs that you still got to get back to tonight? Are you kind of piecing them out in terms of getting replies out there? And is there anything you want to say to everyone out there that maybe you haven't gotten to yet?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll just say thank you to everybody that has shot me a message, any of the friends that, I have. And any of the fans and just like people I played tournaments back when I was like, 13, 14. Like, just thank you to all of you guys. I've cleared out all of the messages on Instagram, at least that I'm aware of right now. And I have a bunch of Facebook Messenger messages to go through, but I'm
Sure.
just not much of a Facebook user, so
Okay.
I haven't gotten there as quickly. But I made pretty steady progress through them in the first night or two because I didn't want to be super backed up when it came around to Wednesday, Thursday, because I don't want to be rude or anything. But yeah, my phone blew up.
Yeah, as
It
it
should.
should. As it should.
Yeah. And anybody that sends the message to the winner, understand Sunday night might be a little bit aggressive for most people.
Right,
Luke's
right.
awesome, but
Right. Yeah. Don't.
He's got a pool to jump in.
Don't,
He's got Texas Roadhouse. Leave him alone.
That's right.
Right. Don't come at me when I win the tournament. But yeah, no, I responded to my family and my extended family and my immediate friends first.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anybody back home that I'm super close with. I was like, I'm going to prioritize getting this done.
Love it.
So,
one of the final things to chat about maybe was I saw in person, a lot of different people manhandling, so to speak, the Terminator, looking at it, twerking on it, tweaking on it, all those types. Maybe not twerking, twisting and turning on it. I don't know. It was a weird weekend. But the Terminator's out, and seemed like this was the weekend that it was most. Well, it was the first time I've been out in a little bit. Break down the disc. Obviously you leaned into it in a pivotal moment, but what can you tell us about it?
Well, I threw it several times the final round. I threw it on hole 5's tee shot first on the baseball field hole, which I birdied round 1, and I was no further away in round 2 than I was in round 1. I just missed the putt. Sorry, not round 2, round 4. I just missed the putt. And then I throw it on 6 for both my first and my second shot. Birdied that hole twice. The Terminator is an incredible disc. Right now we have kind of a pro mold and a Can-Am mold set up right now. So I ran into Bob when I was at Toboggan, and he was like, "Hey, I got some Terminators for you at the factory. Go check them out." And I got 2 Zs, 2 ESPs. They're phenomenal. And I think that it's just a versatile mold for really anybody. I'm leaning on it a lot right now. It is nothing but consistent. It fights wind really well. It handles torque amazing. And it was the weapon that I leaned on final round whenever I had a pivotal shot. I mean, and you think down the stretch, my second shot on hole 13 from behind the tree into the headwind, the ripping headwind that we had, Terminator, incredible. I threw it off of hole 1's tee shot, which I hadn't really practiced at all. I was throwing a straighter disc, but we had a ripping headwind, so I leaned on it there. Threw it on hole 14 second shot, the 495-foot hyzer over the water, Terminator. So it's a workhorse for me. It's earned its slot in the bag, and it's not going anywhere. It's a phenomenal driver.
But your Tour Series disc is the Force this year. We have, I'll bring this up so everyone can see it, the Luke Taylor.
Yeah, and they're also then working
Tour
on
Series Force.
Yeah, version 2. This is the one still with your face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, this is V1. V2's got like the outline kind of. I just imagine.
Yeah.
Again, this is going to date me, but I think of the very, very old Punch-Out game with the grid characters. Again, it's the arcade version, not the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But yeah, the grid characters. So that's V2, and I think you're going to be coming out. Not yet. You weren't part of the first release.
No,
I don't believe.
I'll either be a part of. I think that Wes told us there's 3 batches, so I'll be either part of batch 2 or batch 3. But that'll be really cool to have V2. And yeah, Bob talked to me about that at the very beginning of the year with the Terminator being in the works. We actually did field testing for them in Florida, and I at that point had already picked Force as my disc. What I'm happy to say is that my Force, as far as what I've thrown, my Tour Series Force is actually more stable than the first run Terminators, which is more of like kind of the AM profile. And the thing with the Force too is it doesn't push as much. The Terminator is a little bit faster, and it goes places quicker, obviously. But the Force is more of my control driver, and it always has been. I love it because it's so easy to shot shape with. I feel very comfortable like throwing it forehand, backhand, like it's a very versatile driver for me, and I have actually two in my bag. It's my understable driver and my straight to fade driver. And I don't actually bag a 10-speed. I go straight from the Athena to the Force because the Force has that slot covered for me. So the Force has a very different role in my bag than the Terminator, and I've been able to make good use of both of them, and I really think it could be good use for really anybody. So I would say just get one of each and see what you like.
Now, now to clarify, did you say earlier that you threw the Terminator as the second shot on that approach shot on 18? Was that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I just for what it's worth, not that Discraft pays me to shill or anything, but the fact that you're leaning into that disc on that shot, which is, at the time, the most important shot of the tournament, and that you have that worked in and have that trust as a spot on that shot is says a lot. So very cool.
Yeah. It's a great disc. It's super consistent. Yeah, I love throwing it. If you see me on the final round at lead card of this tournament going into hole 18, you will actually 17 and 18, those two critical tee shots, pivotal tee shots. I will be throwing the Terminator on both of those.
Okay. So. All right. Well, I'll look smart in the field. That's his Terminator. That's Terminator. Awesome. Luke, before we cut you loose, you've given plenty of props and deservedly so to so many fans and supporters and people that got you to where you are. But before we cut you loose, please shout out sponsors, supporters, where people can also then find you and follow and support you on social media. Run the table there for all of everything that's Luke and the socials.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll thank all my sponsors real quick: Discraft, Great Lakes Disc, Mitten Bags, Grip Equipment, and Kazoo Bullion, which is non-disc golf affiliated, but just always supporting me and being in my corner. I'm very grateful to have all those people behind me. I wouldn't be able to tour without them. Shout out to my mom, my dad, all my family back home for always being in my corner. Shout out my girlfriend Lily, who's always got my back, and she's 1 for 2 on wins on caddy rate. And my record without her is much worse. So can't really, deny the evidence there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shout out to all my friends, everybody again that sent messages of just like pure support and joy for me after my tournament. If I haven't gotten to you yet, I'm sorry. I'll get there eventually. But I just really felt the love from everybody, all the fans of the game. Yeah, and shoot, what was
the socials? Where can people follow you and your journey and support you?
Guys, I got a YouTube channel. It's not super big yet, but I would love to make it bigger. And I do feel like I'm posting out pretty consistent, good content. I try to post one video at every tour stop that I'm at. And I'll try to post a few more videos this off season as well. So just keep your eye out on all of that. Go follow me on Instagram, Luke Taylor 102119. Yeah, and on YouTube it's Luke Taylor Disc Golf straight up. So, but yeah, no, I'll keep posting content for you guys, and I also just want to say a huge shout out to you guys for having me on SmashBoxx first time. So yeah, that was absolutely awesome, and a pleasure to be a part of this.
Yeah, we couldn't be more honored. I went out, I literally just hit subscribe on the channel, and then we put it in the chat as well, so people can go out and find it there.
All right, I subscribed as well. It's up, might as well.
Yeah, SmashBoxx is now subscribed, as is the Disc Golf Guy. So 2 new subscribers in the last 1 minute. And again, it's in the chat, so hopefully everybody goes out and finds it. As you said, it's Luke Taylor Disc Golf is where you can find it on the
I'll update the logo at some point to this right here too. This is my new personal logo. That was my old logo on there. I don't know when I'll get around to that, but yes, at some point it will be the Luke Taylor Snow Leopard logo. So
I love it. Where does that come? Give us the quick backstory to that before we let you go then.
Snow leopard's my favorite animal, and talking to all the guys at Discraft as we were formulating it this year, really felt like it kind of characterized my game. It's a very stealthy, lethal predator out in the wild, and that's kind of how I like to play my game. I like flying under the radar. I love chasing. I felt very in my element, even at Ledgestone. I felt like that was, for lack of a better way to put it, it felt like a very snow leopard way to win. So.
Oh, you just scared me. All right. Oh, no. All right, Luke. Well, I'm hoping that I get even more reasons and opportunity to be talking to you as I'll be on the ground for the next few weeks on the Disc Golf Pro Tour side. That means sideline reporting, checking in with you, and if we're talking after a round, that usually means good things. At least from a DGN
hopefully we'll get
perspective.
to have a few more conversations up in here soon then.
I love it. All right, Luke. Well, yet again, congratulations. You've been a shining star for the last couple of years. To watch it
Thank you.
all come to a head this weekend, and you've been close, but to come to a head this weekend to take down such a prestigious event, one of the longest standing events on the entire Disc Golf Pro Tour that's been there from day one, an Elite Plus at that, a $15,000 paycheck. Largely backed and sponsored, by Grip and Discraft, two of your biggest sponsors and of the event.
Yeah.
Like it all came together so beautifully, and now you've beat Gannon 5 times, and that makes it even sweeter. So, everyone, we want to thank you again, Luke Taylor. Thanks for joining. Get some rest, and I'll see you a few days when I join you in Des Moines over there. But thanks for coming on.
That sounds perfect. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Nice talking to you.
Yep.
Luke Taylor, folks, your 2026 Ledgestone champion.
Doing work.
I was just looking at his YouTube videos. He's got a few, looks like some fun stuff out there. Can I beat my girlfriend and brother if they play doubles? I played the best lefty in the world for $500. So, and it looks like there's, I don't know. I don't know, the best lefty in the world. It looks like that's not, I don't know. I thought Anthony Anselmo might rating wise, but that doesn't look like him. That looks like an Austin Turner to me. I think there's a controversy here.
Well, I mean that's what bumps the algorithm is everyone arguing whether or not.
Yeah.
Turner's the best lefty in the game.
Oh yeah.
All right, real quick, let's read through some stats, or excuse me, I should say some finishes,
some results
for the top 10 or so people in each of our divisions.
As we just spoke with, Luke Taylor winning the Ledgestone Open by a single stroke over surprisingly kind of Gannon Burr. Third place, Sullivan Tipton. That was a very exciting back nine. I mean, it was an exciting round, but the back nine was Sully. I know we didn't really go too much into it with Luke because it can probably be awkward, unfortunately, because Sully, talk about rip your heart out. Sully's one of those names, just like Luke. We've been talking about him getting his quote-unquote first win for like 2 to 3 years now. And It's like he's there. He's so close. He's going to do it. This going into hole 17 was just lined up for him. And it was just like, okay, cool. He's got Gannon beat more than likely. And I'm not out here yelling collusion, but it truly felt that every time Sullivan stumbled, Gannon did as well. It's like Gannon had, I think, 3 different opportunities to take a stroke from Sullivan and just either missed an easy putt, got a bad roll away, just a poor drive right after. You're just like, dude, Gannon just wasn't taking advantage that round. So it really truly felt like everything was going Sully's way. He gets up to 17, juices it, goes a little bit deep, and then, which very easy to do,
right? But
makes the ultimate mistake on the drop zone putt. And the drop zone putt is, 45 whatever feet behind the basket, downhill.
Mm-hmm.
He juices that as well. The correct miss is low into the basket. Sully kind of floated it, went over it, but then on top of that went OB back in the water. And that just killed him right there. He had maybe kind of a chance going into 18.
Yeah,
it was there. It just really felt like the momentum was all out of his way, and it was deflating. Of course, anything can happen. The story would be totally different if he picked himself up after that and went. But then he proceeds on 18 to just kind of unfortunate.
Well, he unraveled a little.
Yeah, unraveled a little bit. He threw it off to the left, and then when he tried to throw his forehand, hits a tree and goes out of bounds, and just. It was a small little nightmare hole. So your heart goes out to Sully on that particular thing because he is just like Luke wants it that bad, and he will get one. We've seen the skill level. It's just a matter of time. These, our number 2 guy, Gannon Burr, doesn't let too many of them go by. So to have that opportunity and miss it, it's just gotta gut you a little bit. 4th place, local Wisconsinite Adam Hammis, who we'll probably be seeing in the state in a couple weeks. After the preserve. I'm assuming he might swing by and kind of spend a little time in Wisconsin, maybe visit family, or maybe come down here to Milwaukee or something. 5th place, Isaac Robinson, who just lit up that final round, shooting a 11.05 rated round, 13 under par. He missed the hot round, or the hot course record by was it 1? Did Ridallen shoot a 14 or a 15 a couple years ago? I think it was a 14. But I don't recall. But I know I think he ended up missing it by 1 stroke. But either way, coming back, he was 3 under going into that round total, and he ended up at 16 under par, jumped himself up 18 places to 5th place, tying with Simon Lizotte, who we haven't really spoken too much about this season. Hasn't really had a phenomenal season. It's been kind of quiet, but Simon taking 5th place, tied with Ricky Wysocki, shooting 16 under. In 8th place, Jake Hebenheimer. Another name we haven't really spoken too much about this season. Zach Nash is a name that we've been saying a little bit more frequently the last few weeks. Zach is another one of those young players that is going to be someone to look out for out of Texas. As well, tied with Zach Nash, Joel Freeman. I just feel like Joel is one of those guys that's always overlooked. He's almost a perennial top 10, but he just can't seem to break into that top 5 recently. Such a good player overall. So that is your top 10 in MPO for the Ledgestone. We can move over to FPO, and this was less of an exciting finish. This was just kind of a train barreling through a tunnel, and that was Evelina Solomon. She, 7 under par. There was no stopping her. The fact that, she comes out and shoots a 10-20 rated final round to just put any doubters aside, it was great. Her interview at one point had said something along the lines of, and at some point we're going to kind of have to, as a sport, get over this. Like her putting. Because even, it's still being brought up. Because there is always that gut feeling when's the other shoe going to drop? Will she fall back into these old habits? But it really feels like, and she even said, when I'm in it, I feel like I'm focused more. And so, if she starts out poorly, it's maybe harder for her to kind of rally back as the momentum or the emotions aren't there. But when she's competing or in the lead, she says she's more focused, and she's proving it.
Yeah, I think it's fair to still yet have concern. Now fast forward 2 or 3 months, and she continues to have, event after event after event. Mm-hmm. And clearly I want this to happen. I want her to continue with her putting prowess and even in, continue to be as good or better. So don't get me wrong. I can understand, unfortunately, some of that hesitation to be fully all in, because it was so many years of those struggles. And I am so not trying to play Debbie Downer here or wish for anything but success. I love watching her throw the disc the way she does and then finish off the hole. I think that's maybe one of the most gut-wrenching feelings we've had over the last 5 years is to watch her smash a disc the way she does and then to get up in sometimes 2 or 3 putts. So I don't want it at all. And I hope it is forever in her past. If it is, we all know she's going to continue to be pretty damn hard to beat if she continues her putting the way it has been. So
she'll be virtually impossible to beat if she can keep this up, because the way she drives, like you said, she's almost always been the leader in C1 in regulation. Like
and fairways hit.
Right. She gets the disc to where it needs to be. And then if she's completing, no one can compete with her unless they have a phenomenal weekend. You're talking you would have to for sure shoot like 10-10 golf if she can do all of those things. Like, she's just that good right now. So Evelina is showing the world what we all said a year ago. Man, if she could only putt. This is what happens. She beats the field by 8 strokes.
Right.
Second place, Ella Hansen at 13 under par, shoots an even that final round for a 971 rated round. third place, a tie between Henna Blumroos and Katrina Allen. I said it last week. I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for Kat because last week we were talking
to look smarter.
Of course, we were talking, and I said, this is a place where she feels really comfortable. Like she's won here before. For whatever reason, this event she always shows up for, and so I was definitely pulling a little bit more for Kat just because I wanted to look smarter. And I feel like a third place still makes me look pretty smart. So a third place for Katrina Allen. Fifth place, Holland Hanley. Another kind of nightmare final round. At this point, I hate to put this on anybody, but unfortunately, at some point, all the stats, you can kind of claim anomalies for so long where it's like, oh yeah, her final round seems to be kind of the worst one she has. Maybe that's an anomaly. Unfortunately, it's not. Like at some point you have to believe the stats. Something's happening in that final round. She's just not able to kind of get the job done. She shoots a 6 over par, drops 4 places down to 5th place because she was, I think, tied for the lead or something along those lines, or maybe in the lead. I don't know. But going in that final round. So whatever, hopefully.
Yeah, she was leading by 1.
Yeah, hopefully Holland can do whatever she needs to do to stay up in that podium, whether that's, I don't know, an exorcism or just, taking a week or 2 off and focusing. I don't know what it is, but something has to change. 6th place, Missy Gannon. Kind of right in Missy's zone lately. Like this is right where she's been finishing a lot. I've seen some I don't know, call them funny, but comments about whether or not, Father Time is skipping over Own and just going right to Missy. Is she starting to kind of lose a step compared to some of these other women? I don't know if it's that yet. I don't feel like she's really...
There's not enough money on the line, that's all.
This is Ledgestone, man. There's not much more you can ask for.
More.
She's holding out for Worlds.
I do agree.
Yeah,
yes, at an event she's won twice here. So yes, I agree. It was if you were betting on Missy to get a win or to finish on the podium, that was a very solid bet. Mm-hmm. And you're right, she just didn't quite have it yet. I think that might be like, and this is not meant to sound like a slight on her because we do hold her in such high regard, and she's been so consistent throughout these last 3, 4, 5 years. But it's wild to think she hasn't won yet. Like that's crazy. If you said last year, "Hey, it'll be August," and Missy hasn't even been on a podium or has won yet, you would have taken that bet. Everybody would have taken the bet. Yeah. Nobody was like, "Yeah, Missy will be winless in August, up through July." Nobody would have taken that bet. And again, that's really a compliment.
Like we're running out of opportunities as well. There's.
Yeah, I'm not concerned that she can't still get one. No, she could with what's left. I have no concern of that. But you are shocked that she hasn't won yet.
I am. I'm a little shocked that she hasn't pulled out the win yet.
Yeah.
7th place, Hannah Wynn, a name we haven't talked too much about since early in the season. She comes out here and gets a 7th place tie with Owen Scoggins, who just kind of didn't really perform great this weekend. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's her putting or her driving or just maybe a little bit of tiredness. Who knows? But Owen not sitting where we normally see her, a little further up at the top. Everyone's allowed an off couple weeks, and I'm not going to take too much concern into Owen yet. We'll give her a few weeks before I start to kind of maybe pull that emergency handle. As well, tied with Silva Sarnen, who going into this event, everyone would have picked her for for finishing up in the podium. She just, she did not play well at Northwood.
No.
And I don't think this is considered Northwood Black. I think it's like Northwood.
It's Northwood Black
short. Okay. She just didn't play well. I think she shot like 7 over total for the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And I could probably easily find that out, actually. Yeah, a 5 and a 2, so I was right. So she shot 7 over par at Northwood. I don't know. She's played well here before. At first I thought, well, maybe this is her first time here. But no. She played Champions Cup last year, which was all here and played well. It's just, sometimes that course can do it to you. You just get stuck in the worst spots over and over and over. And, she's unfortunately not a great scrambler. If there's there's 2 weeknesses in her game. It's her forehand. But that, I think, really ties into scrambling. Like, if you're in an awkward position, the forehand is so helpful to get out of some of these spots. And you can see when she has to go to it, it's still awkward.
Right.
Like, and so Northwood Black is one of those places where scrambling is important. And so maybe it's one of the reasons she suffers here. I don't know. And then finally, rounding out the top 10, Hailey Lina, just overall a great weekend for her. She was on lead card quite a bit. We got to see her. Unfortunately, she dropped off towards the end. Ended up moving up. She shot an even the final round. But just fun overall. You could see her having a lot of fun with Owen and some cutaway shots. And then Valerie Mondahano as well.
Yeah, so Val coming off of her title defense, able to get into the top 10, but just a real lack of birdies, especially during that final round when we saw that she only had 2. So Val as well, you're expecting even more to see even more from her.
I don't know.
I feel like, what did she finish? 5th or 6th the last 3-4 seasons? So she's obviously very consistent.
She is.
But it's just surprising to see her, not up there a little higher this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like I never will say any of these players plateaued. She's playing very consistent. It's just not at the top level. Like, she's consistently good and not great. That's unfortunately kind of what we're seeing right now. And maybe it's tough because a lot of these other women are playing great when they win.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I hope we see more better play from Val. You have to. If you want to win right now in the FPO field, if there's a weekend where, these next, it's hard to count the preserve, but this next week is a great opportunity for a lot of players because Ev and Henna have gone home for a few weeks. So there's a few more open spots up at the top of at the field. If you want to get one, Des Moines is a good place. So kind of put the pedal to the metal for some of these women that are looking. I wonder how much the FPO course has changed.
I'm going to assume a lot, and I haven't seen like the drone previews, and I'll hopefully get a better look at it come tomorrow or Thursday. But I'm going to assume a lot out there as well. And actually, there's a spreadsheet I could check. And I guess I'll correct myself. I fact checked myself. The last 2 years, Valerie has finished, around 12th and 15th in the tour. So I was thinking that she was even higher up than she was. Obviously, I feel like she can win on any given weekend.
Yeah, she has that capability.
I guess,
she just needs that.
Not quite as high up on the consistency as I thought. But anyway. All right.
So the other, I don't want to call it news. We'll call it drama from this weekend. Kind of relates to this upcoming weekend as well. So a little both. Nate Perkins made a comment on the broadcast talking about this upcoming week at Des Moines and Cadence Burge coming back. Her dad, Larry Burge, he went on social media and was like, "That's just not true. We haven't made a decision. I don't know where Nate got this." He actually name dropped you, Terry Miller, which is why I'm bringing it up to you. He name dropped you and Bearhart, basically saying, "I've got direct lines to these guys. I talk with them. I don't have one to Perks, so I don't know where Perks got this. I'd love to ask him and kind of find out." Have you talked with Larry at all? Have you gotten any clarity on the situation is what I'm asking.
No, I found out about this after the fact because I wasn't necessarily listening in on all of that. And so I have not.
Colin on the board said she signed up for it. She's been signed up for most of the events and then just pulled out. She was signed up for Ledgestone up until like Thursday or Friday, and then I think it was maybe Thursday she withdrew from Ledgestone. So she's been signed up. I think you sign up early just in case this is. I know she wants to. Her goal at one point was to get back by Des Moines because she's the champion. She's the defending champion. So to come back would be a great storyline. Now, whether she's ready or not is a whole nother question.
I can't help but go to the Fuji's. Ready or not? Okay.
I don't want that. I want her ready. I don't want any of the or not part.
I personally do not know as of this exact moment. Obviously, you look at the time off for the injury, and then you look back to this upcoming weekend being where she got the win, last year, and I think I heard something along the lines of she was holding off last weekend to get this last weekend being Ledgestone, to get even that much closer to being fully ready and wanting to be prepared for Des Moines. But that is hearsay, and I do not have that directly from Cadence or her father, so to speak. So I don't know for sure. Yes, as you just mentioned, signed up. There's a lot of people that stay signed up and or sign up early in the year for various things. So that can't be a full indicator. Most certainly. I mean, we just literally learned today. Well, some learned earlier that, Casey White is subbing in because Eagle McMahon is not going to be at the event this weekend.
Oh, at Des Moines.
So Casey White is. I should clarify. Casey White is subbing into the Creators Challenge.
The Creators Challenge. Okay.
And I think that's as a result of Eagle McMahon not only not being at the Creators Challenge, but then also then at the overall event at Des Moines Challenge. So, but I'm sure Eagle was on the list up until maybe a day or two ago. So that's what I can say. I hope she takes as long as she possibly needs. I could understand feeling like you want to be there at a place that you obviously have had success at now. You want to defend that title. You want that opportunity, all of those things. I cannot speak to it. The last time I personally had a conversation with Cadence, I believe it was way back at Champions Cup, where I saw her there. She was telling me about her injury. They were out practicing. She wasn't practicing herself, but she was walking around during a practice round. She was telling me about her injury and the decisions that she was facing, but that was April. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We want her to come back, but we want her to be healthy. So don't, no one's asking her to rush. No one's trying to put any pressure on her. Just like any of the other competitors, we want to see someone at their best. The last thing you want to see is someone come back and then have to limp through the course, depressingly, or possibly re-injure whatever they had, like fully healthy.
Yeah, you're talking about like a 18 or 19-year-old with dozens of years, hopefully, of golf ahead of her, and then some, with a very high ceiling. So, as much as it pains anybody to think about, still stepping aside, or sidelining it. All we can do is just wait to see. So, if I get any news or updates that I can officially share, I certainly will. But that's what I know as of right now. I'll quickly just as we kind of touched on with Luke this upcoming weekend. Obviously, we're rolling into Des Moines and Creators Cup or Challenge or whatever it's called, brought to us by Sky Zone of.
You should probably learn that as you're going to be on course.
I mean, I've been tagged, I guess, in a couple of social media posts for it, but whatever it is, you guys know what the gist of what I'm saying is taking place. That will be live on Thursday night.
Oh, cool.
And it will be on the Disc Golf Network, I assume under the regular subscription, but if it's not, don't yell at me. I don't know for sure, but that would be my assumption. Creators Challenge is the official name. Presented by Sky Zone. And I'm going to have the pleasure of working alongside Greg from over at Six Sided Disc. Oh, yeah. He's been very
I've watched some of his videos on YouTube. It's
super smart.
Stuff. Yeah.
Finally, we'll bring some good looks to the broadcast.
A little less hair, but
a lot less hair. I don't know. I'm going to guess he's he's definitely younger than me. I feel like
he's younger than us.
Most people are at this point.
Everybody are now.
Yeah. But super excited. I believe all 16 competitors are going to be on the same card. So you're not going to have to worry about bouncing back and forth. And did you miss something on one card or not? There's going to be a lot of people.
That's a nightmare.
It sounds like it. I hope it's fun.
Clearly they have the course closed for this.
Yeah. And we're only playing 9 holes. I think it's 1 through 7, and then 17 or 18 and 19 or 18.
I don't even know what that's called because when you have a 6 or
F-sum.
7s, we call it an F-sum.
Yeah,
without the abbreviation. But what is a 16 group?
I don't know what how many. Yeah,
it's a mob.
16-sided disc instead of 6-sided. Anyway, it's that's what it's going to be. Greg and I will be out there. We had a production meeting yesterday to talk about the strategies of it. We'll both be on course, with mics, but then there'll be cameras everywhere, and everybody's going to be on one card. So hopefully it's a lot of fun. Okay. Looking forward to it. Of course, Greg's kind of had this journey of learning about on-course roll. He's making his own documenting it all, and it'll be his own, created content after the fact too, which is also kind of cool. Like I think the kids would say that's so meta, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So that's happening Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central is the projected broadcast time.
Is that right at the same? Is that at
Pickard? Yeah, right at Pickard.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, I think we're playing holes 1 through 7, and then 17 and 18. Wow, I want to keep saying 18 and 19. 1 through 7, and then 18 and 17. And then there's going to be, I think, a couple extra. There's going to be a fan that can get in on the action.
Can I go in in disguise?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a fan. You don't have to be in disguise.
Do I have to be a fan of all the people?
No.
Okay. 'Cause I'm not a fan of you.
I think they're gonna one hole we're gonna pull from a fan from in the crowd, and then I think on the hole 5 there's going to be a everybody's gonna get multiple shots at getting an ace over on the Hive hole. So that'll be pretty fun.
Did you see the? I'm gonna put this in quotes. Highlight of the Ace Challenge this past weekend?
I did not.
Someone almost died.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm sorry. I hope you're a viewer if you're watching this. Someone gets up for the Ace Challenge, the Powerball.
Powerball, okay.
And it looks like it's 150, 160 feet downhill hole 1.
Okay.
And this person walks up and just yanks it right. Like, I would say if you're shooting at 12 o'clock, he went to like 2:30. And there's 2 guys. It looks like it's 2 guys because the video quality is whatever, standing there, and you could see them both like lean back quickly. I'm shocked no one threw their hands up because it almost decapitated those people. One of them, they both kind of leaned back, and the disc just again, it was a what the F Richard kind of throw almost.
Okay.
It was amusing, and the guy just casually walks away like, oh, I missed. like just
maybe he had low expectations.
Playing it cool, man. Playing it cool because it wasn't like run over like, oh my God, I'm sorry I almost murdered you. I'm sorry you. But he just kind of turns around.
There's a risk you take when being a spectator. When you're standing around non-professionals throwing frisbees.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, if you need to file an insurance claim, I guess Ledgestone's right
the place
there,
to do
ready
it.
to go. So needless to say, it wasn't hit, and I believe this weekend will be my first time ever. I mean, I'll be completely selfish and say I would love if it gets hit, and I'm going to be the on-course person because I have not been the on-course.
I haven't
and ready for it.
I haven't had a chance to really watch many of them. But I hope you kind of amp them up, like get people like pumped.
Yeah,
for this.
I feel like that's
part of the.
I feel like that's
no,
happened.
I know, but I mean, like, just you kind of your.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Shtick.
I just hope, one of them hits it. I mean,
that'd be great
this weekend. I don't know if it's happening at Preserve as well, but if so, the next 2 weekends I'm on course.
If it's Preserve, is it a doubles attempt?
I doubt it. It's probably
it
still
should
5
be.
people, but it's 5 random people from the crowd, assuming they're having it. I don't know, but it's up to like 14 grand.
I think so. Because I think 13 was at Ledgestone, so this will be 14.
Sweet. I'll cut it. I want to cut of that. I want to get in on that deal.
Well, again, ask them before they throw.
Right? Yeah. Like, hey, we splitting this? We going 5?
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So it should be fun. And I guess real quick, I don't also know if this is public knowledge, but it's a Smashbox exclusive. If not, this weekend. I feel fun sharing this, even though it's not that big of a deal. But this weekend, it'll be split booths, which is not a common practice. And what I mean by that is, in the mornings, it will be it'll be Brian Earhart along with Des Redding, and they'll be commentating from Brian Earhart's place in the Charlotte area.
Okay.
His address is 719. No, but they'll be commentating from there.
He always leaves the back door unlocked. Don't worry. Just
except for when there's copperhead snakes or whatever I found out there. But anyway.
That's his defense mecanism. Don't try to break in.
Snakes in his yard. That almost killed me. So they're doing that. And then in the afternoons, it's going to be coming out of the state of Oregon, will be Philo and Nate Perkins.
I do like the split booth in that for the people doing the commentating, like Brian, doesn't have to wake up too early because it's an hour later.
Yeah, he's actually an hour later.
So it's kind of nice for that. And then the Bend crew,
as a reasonable time.
As a reasonable time. You're not asking somebody in Bend to wake up at 4 in the morning, like you always complain
like I
about.
always whined about.
Yeah, and so you've got like this nice kind of mix to it. I'm good with that.
And it gives you multiple voices throughout the weekend, and I think that's also part of it, is that it gives you, rather than having one host the whole time, which is kind of the standard protocol that we've had. But I think back to, in Austin earlier this year, that was a 4-day event, but I was on the ground in the mornings, and then in the booth with Philo in the afternoons, where Nate Perkins swapped with me, because in the mornings he was with Dez, and then in the afternoons he was on the ground. So similar but different. Either way, I'm on the ground all 6 of the rounds, but we're gonna have a little change up in the booth. So anyway,
all
just
6
throwing
of the
that out there.
extra long new course length.
Pickard by default has played relatively fast.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the hills are any less shallow or the corn sweat isn't any less. So we'll see how that goes on my behalf. But I don't know. We'll get it all in.
Just avoid the hills.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Like you're on
I
hole
don't mind
3.
The actual steps, but
I'm going to head over to 5.
No, I don't mind going down the hills. Like
I was just making
hole 3, walking. I'll walk down that hill. I'll walk down the hill on 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going up on 9. It's going up on 10.
Well,
those is walking 10 to. Those are the ones that suck.
I'll just try
walking up on 17. Walking up 18, those suck.
It's hard to avoid 17 and 18, but
hey, take this away, Booth.
Peace out. I'm out.
Anyway, all right. Anyway, that's gonna be happening this weekend. I don't know if that's like big exclusive news, but it's unique. It's at least
different.
That.
Let me tell you this: if the Pro Tour considers that a spoiler or a leak, that's ridiculous. Truly, nobody cares who the commentators are. Now,
I think the internet cares.
People don't like some people. People love other people. But nobody is thinking like, oh, I really, who's going to be in the booth? Nobody's shaking, waiting. It's not like you might get there and be like, ugh, this guy, ugh, her, which I never do because I like all of our commentators. But no, that's not a spoiler. And if anyone gives you a hassle, Miller, you send them my way. Anyways, you have carte blanche today. It's your birthday. You can say whatever you want.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you can.
Well, speaking of being able to share, I have reached out to one Larry Burge, and I am going to clarify if what he is or isn't sharing with me, if it can be public knowledge. I want to double check on that. He just sent me a message actually, so maybe I'll have an update for you. Maybe I won't. I can't promise.
Okay.
But I'll be sharing if I can. Sharing is caring, or something like that.
Ace Run talking about hole 9, the walk on 9 sucks. They would know.
Yeah,
they would.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It does suck. Well, then the fact that they backed up the tee, which I won't really be going to anyway, in that case, because I'm trying to get.
You're
to the
always
catch.
on towards the catch.
But,
so
we'll see how that all shakes out. All right, so I have official permission, so I'm gonna share with you what Larry Burge,
SmashBox exclusive,
has just shared with me. I said, I basically asked him and just said, hey, just curious if we have any kind of definition as to her playing or not this weekend. And he has confirmed that I can share this. And he says, I think so. She is there and she is practicing. She hasn't had any pain in the last month or so. She wasn't ready for Ledgestone, but I am fairly certain she will play this week. The fact that she hasn't dropped is a good sign. So that is her dad. Clearly, she is a professional adult competitor herself, and she'll be making her own decisions at some point.
If she doesn't feel comfortable by Thursday, understandable.
Yeah, or whatever. But that is what her very involved father has just shared with me. So
that's great.
You guys,
I mean, again, we look forward. I maybe you can spoil this. I really hope we do not see her on a
Yeah, she'll be on a feature card.
Feature card.
She's the returning
I
champ.
know. I just feel like
that will never not be done.
I know. I just feel like you're adding, like, coming off of an injury like this. That's a huge story. I just feel like
you don't buck the protocol.
I think she.
In fact, that's like the whole point.
I know she literally probably could. She could ask not to be on the feature
she
card.
She could.
Just the added extra pressure. Now,
maybe
if
she thrives in it,
and maybe she does. I'm not
like,
saying. It would be nice if to have.
No,
I know the protocol. Trust me. You get last year's winner. You get last week's winner. You get sponsor. You get all the crap.
Yeah, and Discmania is her sponsor.
I know all the details. I know all that crap. I just think of the extra pressure.
Well, if she didn't want that, then she should skip the event.
I understand that too.
Yeah, no. If she's playing, she's on a feature card.
I get that.
Anyway, all right, we're gonna wrap things up here on our regular show. So much for being shorter. We'll wrap things up, and then we can have an after show, some random odds and ends that we can talk about.
Some quick stuff, some news, some
quick hitters.
A little bit of skip ace info I want to.
Oh yeah, we'll skip briefly. That until I'm done.
Okay,
let's skip that till my next birthday.
I can just mute your mic.
Anyway,
it's great. I have a button here.
Whatever. All right, we have to thank Luke Taylor, of course. Congratulations, not just to Luke, but our champion over on the FPO side. Congrats, of course, to Evelina Salonen and literally the dozens of other champions that were at that event. Yes, they're not all playing in those, those top two divisions, but so many people traveling from literally all around the country and even a few from outside of the country to be at that event. Big tip of the cap to the Ledgestone crew. I mean, you're talking about more than 2,000 competitors that all arrive, that do what they do to be there for the event. And was there a hiccup or two somewhere? I would guarantee there was, especially
not an event this size.
Especially when you're talking about inclement weather that ended up rolling through that area for the weekend. Oof. And I am not saying everything was perfect, because I'm sure there wasn't. And some things were probably avoidable. Some things possibly weren't. Like when I see complaints about muddy tee pads in the middle of 2 inches of rain, whatever. But congratulations, seriously. And to think about the Macbeth Foundation getting a check, that's 5 digits from this event. St. Jude getting a check that's 5 digits, to know that this event has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for charities. I just
remind me in the after show. I want to talk about that as well.
Yeah, just incredible. So it's a big deal, and congrats to everyone that help pull it off when you're talking about this Elite Plus event along with the A-tier side of things. So congratulations to all of them. And congrats to our PDGA Board of Directors, which we could talk about in the after show. We'll quickly fire that off, especially since we had some of them on the show. That has been SmashBoxxTV Podcast 619. So much for me being 47. Now we're here in 48. Gosh. I don't know. Let's not do this on my birthday next year. No, we won't.
Probably not.
It won't be a Tuesday. For Johnny V and myself, again, congrats, Luke Taylor. We're going to take a super quick break. When we come back, we'll have the after show. There better be cake. There better be candles, or I quit the show. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smashbox.
Thank you to our $2 and above patrons. Your name is listed below in the credits. If you are interested in being listed as a producer in the SmashBoxxTV credits and supporting this and other fine podcasts, please visit patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmashBoxxTV Podcast 619's After Show.
Birthday edition.
No, all of our clothes will be on.
Oh,
So if you got some naughty ideas there,
listen, we're primarily an audio podcast. Let's let the people imagine what they want to imagine. You know?
Okay, that doesn't include us then.
No, but still, everybody
call.
knows that you and I both resemble Ezra Aderhold, his physique.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's just that audio listeners. If you've never seen the podcast, you're lucky.
You're better off. I mean, I did have beans today, like Ezra probably did. Mine were inside of a Qdoba burrito, and probably not as healthy, but.
No, he probably would leave off of the actual burrito part. He would do a bowl and
He'd
not a burrito.
leave off the burrito, the actual wrap. He'd probably leave off the cheese. He'd probably leave off the sour cream.
I don't do sour cream, but if you leave off the cheese, I'm sorry, you're not living. Sorry.
It's a true Wisconsinite.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of Wisconsin, I was tasked, or more politely, we'll say I was asked, very, very, in a very sweet way, by the Bazooka.
Oh, Albert
this
Tom?
weekend. Albert Tom came up to me and
he wants you to bring him some cheese, Wisconsin cheese.
No, he wants me to bring him some Spotted Cow, some New Glarus beer, which famously, if you're at all,
you're like some sort of dealer now. Like,
well, I mean, I could on the secondary market for people that love, New Glarus and Spotted Cow.
You are.
I probably could be because, as many of you know, even though I'm not personally a consumer of it. They don't sell and distribute it outside of Wisconsin.
Correct.
So it's a big deal.
How much beer can you travel with before it's illegal?
I don't think there's a limit.
Says a Wisconsinite. Doss would know because we know he can't ship it and there's certain restrictions.
Right.
But like if
there's
no travel. Like if you're
if I had like a cargo van with
just
100 cases, sure,
okay.
I would have to drink less than one case while driving it to still be legal. But
I think less than that.
Okay. No. Yes, I can bring it across state lines.
I know
these
that
state
part,
lines. Yeah. I mean, some people, and of course, you can get a lot of beverages and you can get a lot of things at the airport. In the Milwaukee airport, specifically Milwaukee's anyway, there's a store that you can buy 12 packs of New Glarus beer. And I know you can at a lot of airports, but specifically like that, that's a big deal to the people that really love. Again, I'm not a Spotted Cow. I'm not a New Glarus. They don't do barrel aged stouts, so that's why I'm personally not. But I stopped at I stopped at a place tonight though, just so I wouldn't forget, and I grabbed 6 different individual beers by New Glarus and got that for one Albert Tam. So hopefully
that's it. Like if you're gonna bring him some,
well, it was a variety pack. I bought him literally 6 different variations of their beer.
You gotta bring a brother more than that.
So I should bring a 12 pack of each of the 6 variations.
Not maybe not that much, but
okay. Well, maybe I'll stop and get them more tomorrow.
Yeah, like I think if someone wants you to travel with them, unless they specifically say, I think you have to at least bring them 2 6-packs. Like that's a minimum.
If I knew, let me be clear. If I knew the one variation of beer that he actually liked, I would bring as much.
Not just Spotted Cow.
Well, I mean, the New Glarus makes like literally 6 or 8 or 10 different
versions of Spotted Cow
of beer. No, of their
sure, but it sounds
I
like
don't
he
know
wanted
if he just
Spotted Cow.
wanted. Yeah, I guess that's where I should clarify.
Yeah. I would bring him at least 1 case of Spotted Cow, and then the
what
variety
if he doesn't
pack.
like it? Because he doesn't know, he's never tried it. That's the whole point of this.
Somebody on tour will drink it.
That's true.
Come on.
That's true. At any rate, yes, I am now a smuggler of
not even going to the notch.
Yes, not of the notch.
Not of the notch. Okay, I want to quickly talk about maybe the other controversy from this past weekend.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not 48.
No, you weren't at this weekend, but you are now. The raffle.
Okay, I have deets.
Yeah, I know you have deets. So to lay it all out, we saw a post on social media that went, I don't say viral, but it got a little bit of traction, that was complaining about how somebody won a majority of the prizes, of the raffle prizes. And this is a raffle that goes to benefit the Paul Macbeth Foundation. And they were giving away baskets and Zucca carts and just all sorts of stuff. And somebody had won like a majority of the raffle prizes, you would say?
I thought it was like, was it like 19 out of the 70 or something like that? I don't recall the exact number.
Either way,
it was a lot. It was a lot,
large
including
portion. Like
I think 7 baskets.
They won 7 baskets
and
a
baskets.
Zucca card. And so there was somebody that was, I don't want to say rightfully, because I don't think there's any right to be upset, but they were upset. They were like, what's the deal with this? Can you and will you, Terry, share the details about what exactly happened?
Right. What I can share is, even leading into the event, that I had heard there was a gentleman who was purchasing stuff in the pro shop. This is before the event literally even started. And there was a gentleman in the pro shop that was buying a couple of discs, and there were other people that were in the Ledgestone pro shop, and he's like, hey, do you want a disc, or do you need a disc? Hey, go pick something out. He was like looking for people to purchase, to pay for some of their discs and things that they were buying. And that's what I had heard like before the event even started.
So somebody had a generosity.
Yes. And
stick.
I don't know the exact story, but it was something along the lines of, he also is maybe like a movie producer or something along those lines, and is ultimately promoting a movie or something. But anyway, I don't know if this officially ties together. But
Spider-Man, was he promoting Tom? Is it Tom Holland?
So he, with some very generous gentleman, older gentleman. I think that's fair to say, older than me. I'm now 48. Anyway, he then also, so he was like just literally just buying some stuff for some people,
okay,
to be nice for them. And at one point, he had then, as the weekend rolled on, he knew of the Macbeth Foundation's goal, whatever it was. I don't know if it was $10,000 or $20,000 to raise, whatever the number was. He knew of it, and I think he said, "Well, hey, we need to make sure we at least hit that." Well, at one point, he had then bought thousands of dollars worth of tickets.
I heard 10.
I heard 10 as well.
So
which buys you, God, what was the number that I heard? $500 got you 1,200 tickets or something like. I almost hate to say it. It was a lot. $500 got you a ton of tickets. $10,000,
an obscene amount of tickets,
gets you clearly an obscene amount of tickets. So he spends all this money, and while he's buying the tickets, at one point when he's in line buying some tickets, he's telling people, "Hey, if I win this, you can. If I win a basket, you can have it, and if I win 2 baskets, you can get my second one, and if I win 3 baskets, so on and so forth," or whatever he was saying, or if I win these prizes. This is what he's saying before the drawing has even happened.
Yeah,
is what I've been told. So then, of course, the drawing ends up happening, which I'm not physically around for, but I know they're working. There's like almost an independent source now pulling the numbers due to some stipulations and everything else. So it's not like Nate Heinold's digging in a raffle ball. So they're pulling these numbers, then starting to notify all the people. I don't know exactly all the details of how they notify them, but I think they have all their names and email and phone numbers. And obviously the event itself is trying to get this information out there, because if you're there on site, you obviously can just take the prizes with you. Plenty of people from off-site can get in.
And I think that the person that complained about this was someone that was off-site. Like they were not there. They saw the results of the raffle listed and was like, "Well, this guy won."
Yeah. So that happens. This guy, like you said, wins this. I can't call it an obscene amount. He wins a lot.
No.
Well, I don't know if obscene is even fair though. Like he wins.
He won a lot because he has an obscene amount of tickets.
Okay, maybe that's a good
fair.
way to put it.
And yeah.
And yeah, so somebody, of course, went to the internet and said that they thought it was crazy and that this guy won so many and it was clearly rigged and blah, 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 blah. And he clearly just didn't know what the F he was talking about.
Correct.
Now, is it fair that at face value, you're like, wait a minute, how did one guy win so much? That's fair. I think that's a fair question.
Asking the question,
but to
asking
immediately
for more details.
just make these assumptions and then call for heads to roll and to be all worked up and to make some accusations and everywhere else, well, you're just wrong.
Yeah.
I guess that's all you can say to it. So this person won all of these prizes and then sure enough followed through with it. Tons of people that actually had then got his prizes that he had promised to them, and that's the end of it. And his initials are JB. I forget his exact name, but I believe his initials are JB. Older gentleman, and I'll go as far as saying I physically interact with him briefly because he came over to the Dyers Guild tent who was vending, which I happened to be near at that time, and he walked up to them and said, "Hey, I would like to dye some discs, and I'd like to do this." And I think the Dyers Guild said something like, "We appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just going to throw in a number. This will be $50." And I think the gentleman handed him $100 and said, "Well, I'll pay double." And just insisted on generously supporting a vendor. So, or whatever the numbers were. So
Someone's
it's clearly within
Jeff
his...
Barrett is the name. Is what someone on the board.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I didn't know him personally. I don't believe, but yeah. Lots of generosity.
And obviously that's great. I guess my question from another spectator or maybe raffle participant's point of view, if somebody drops 10K, like the Paul Macbeth Foundation is ecstatic. Awesome. Everybody thinks that's great. Does that dissuade other people then? From
sure.
Like you're like, well, there's like no chance I'm winning because this guy's going to win a ton of stuff. Like my odds have just, I don't know if your odds have dropped. I guess it depends how many people would have bought tickets versus.
Well,
whatever,
was there like a final amount or not? Yeah.
Yeah. Like would a third of that amount been purchased, and then you would have had a better chance if this guy didn't buy 10,000 and flood the market, so to speak. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Obviously, this is all on the up and up. The guy didn't even keep any, maybe, or
here I'll quickly just read what he literally posted.
Yeah,
I'm the guy, blah blah. I don't like to win alone. I like to win-win. I like win-win-win situations. The second basket went to whoever won the scavenger hunt. I don't know how they found enough time to go to those places. The third basket went to a guy I met the morning after my round. He was first in line for a limited edition release. I met him around 10:30, and the release was scheduled for 6:30, so he gave it away to a guy who waited 8 hours. Fourth basket went to a gal who was in second in that line and had the good fortune to meet and visit with. Fifth basket went to my friend who was injured trying to prevent a fall and got a DNF. He was the person who told me about Ledgestone 6 years ago. And sixth basket is going to a gal who greeted me with authentic Maori greeting, and her father and I shared the breath of life. And it went on. So,
all right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. In terms of it sucks you didn't win anything, and this guy flooded the raffle by donating that absurd amount of money. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you expect to win.
I mean, nobody expects to win, but I again, like you said, I can understand the questioning or confusion when you see the same name on a bunch. Like, oh gosh, well, because you just don't expect someone to be like, oh, I dropped 10 grand into this raffle. Like, that's not, this isn't the sport where that usually kind of thing happens.
I agree.
If this was an NBA raffle, or maybe there's a little bit more high rollers, but again, we do have some very wealthy people that play or are active in this sport. This happens to be one of those instances where, it sounded like it was, as he said, a win-win-win for everybody. Paul Macbeth's Foundation won. He got to win.
Yeah.
And he got to give away these things to other people who then felt like they won. So controversy isn't necessarily the right word. Maybe confusion, maybe a little bit of jumping ahead of the story if you're making some of these accusations online or posts.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, like,
great.
wow, if you posted and said, wow, there was 100 prizes and somebody just won 80 of them, I wonder how many in the world, how many tickets they bought. I think that's a fair question and a fair way to word it. But if you get too accusatory after that and start saying that, it's rigged or F this or F that, about the foundation screwing you over, that's when I think you're just jumping the gun and you're out of line. So, and someone on the board says it seems like that would have been more. It would have been more sporting with a silent auction. Yeah, but you can't expect.
Yeah. You
don't know. Some gentleman's going to show up and just drop 10K or 5K even for that matter. You don't know that. Like you're running a raffle like you have for a decade. You don't know someone's going to come up and quote unquote flood the raffle.
Yeah. Ultimately, I understand it's a raffle. If you're getting into something like this, your hope, I guess I can't say this for sure. If I'm getting into something like this, I'm getting it because of the Paul McBeth Foundation. Like, oh, cool. There's a raffle. I have a chance to win something awesome, but more than anything, the Paul McBeth Foundation gets some cash. Now, maybe not everybody thinks like that. Some people think like raffle, I have a chance to win something. I don't care where that money goes. I want to win. Oh, I didn't win. I can see that perspective as well, but whatever. So that was the only other kind of drama that I heard from this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, does it feel, does it feel a little deflating? But that's just it. I guess it depends if there's a limited amount of tickets or not, because in theory, your chances, if it's an unlimited raffle, what if 10,000 other people all individually bought one ticket? Your chances are just as bad.
Correct.
Like I
that's
think
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, there's some people that just don't understand math too.
Yeah, the statistics. If this guy didn't buy any tickets, obviously that's a better chance for everybody. You don't know going into it how many other tickets are going to be sold.
Right.
That's just how it works. So anyway, happy for the Paul McBeth Foundation. Happy for this Jeff Barrett guy. Happy for everybody who got something out of the raffle, whether you got it from Jeff or you won it because of your purchase. It don't matter. Win, 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 as he said.
Except for the people who didn't win.
Except for the people who didn't win. And you won in your heart because you donated to the Paul McBeth Foundation.
Yeah.
So I hope that warms your heart when you try to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Speaking of warming my heart.
Uh-oh.
I got to interact with a number of Smashies, but one in particular, when Ed Root was out there. Ed Root, I got to interact with him. I believe I also delivered on I didn't remember even the offer initially, but on a potentially sweaty hug to his wife.
Sorry. Sorry, Ed Root's
I wasn't sweaty. I wasn't sweaty. So,
well, then she only got half the experience.
Right. He was there for it. It was all above water. All right. But good to see so many.
Well, I hope you guys weren't in the water, and that'd be making it even weirder.
Maybe. But good to see so many incredible people out there this last weekend for sure. And as mentioned maybe last week, I had the pleasure of also filming the Play with the Champs. I don't have an exact deadline for when that's going to get released, but it was a lot of fun. I'm going to say this again. Anthony Barella, Ezra Aderhold, Missy Gannon, Ken Climo, and Calvin Heimberg.
Never heard of any of them.
Some of the most gracious sports, just incredible people out there during that Play with the Champs. I was overwhelmed with joy and not surprised, but I was overwhelmed with joy with how special I think those particular players help make that experience. And I hope every spectator that was there in person feels that. It won't probably come through quite the same on video when I release it, but just so fulfilling. Like to see the professionals act the way that they did and to have the fun that we did and then to be engaging the way they were. it was just truly an honor. I said this to Calvin. We ended up having like a random 45-minute conversation after it that was about all sorts of other things, and that was one of the ways that I actually wrapped it up, was just telling him right to his face, like, man, I was so impressed. And not that it was surprising, so don't think like, oh, did Terry, think any less of them beforehand. I didn't, but it really affirmed how gracious all 5 of those competitors were in watching them play in that Play with the Champs fundraiser event, again helping the Paul Macbeth Foundation. It was really impressive. So I personally just want to say thank you again to all of them. Thank you to all the people that come out and bought the tickets to get involved, and you got some really cool stuff. Hopefully you had a cool experience. All of that, I want that to continue. But to those 5 individuals who were just incredible humans during that, I wanted to say thanks again. They were awesome. So. All right, reading off what some other stuff we have. Ed says, why not just donate the money directly if it's going to be that high of an amount? Takes away from the fun from the entries. I mean, like he said, though, not that I can fully or should need to fully explain on Jeff's behalf. I think he likes the idea of sharing in that fun. I understand he could just make the donation, but I think it's kind of cool to think, well, maybe somebody wasn't going to get in the raffle, and then all of a sudden he met somebody standing in line, and he's like, that's pretty cool that you're going to sit here for 8 hours for a limited release. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, if I win a basket, you can have it. Like, maybe he gets to play a little Santa, as someone else said in the comments. Yeah. I get it. He could just have said, hey, here's $10,000. I don't want any tickets. Yeah, sure, he could say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You're donating.
I have a hard time telling somebody else how they should be donating their money, though.
Yeah,
like that doesn't feel like my position.
Like, imagine this: you can guarantee someone on site's happiness by giving them one of these things, and you get to see that. You're like, sure. Versus, let's just say, a majority of the winnings maybe going off site. Like, sure. John Van Derzen wins this. He's not here. He purchased an online ticket.
Ship it to that guy.
We'll have to ship it or give it to Terry, make him deliver it, or whatever that would be.
Right.
Like, it's cool, but there's something more enjoyable
way to look at it. Yeah.
About being able to see the joy in someone's face when they win, or when they receive the basket because you won it. You're like, oh. And there's just something special about that. It's that Christmas, like someone said, Santa Claus. It's that Christmas feeling. You get to give someone a gift. So I can understand why you won't just like silently donate it. There is a little bit of, take this with a big ass grain of salt, a little bit of selfishness in how you like, oh good, I get to give it to somebody, so that makes me feel good. So I guess that makes me a touch selfish. It's the best selfishness you can have, right? Like,
right. I wish I could be that selfish.
I know, me too. I wish I had enough money I could just selfishly give people money to make myself feel better, right?
All right. Robert McCall is on the board and says, hey, fellas, it's been a while. Hope all is well. Robert, if you're just here to make a comment about hair and my age, we're going to have a talk, because I know how you are. No, we miss you, buddy.
We do miss you, Robert.
As does everyone that's ever been old enough to realize that, you were
one of the OGs.
OG superstar in the booth. Yes, everyone misses you.
Best hair ever in the booth. Suck it, Miller.
Son of a... Ed said, wonderful time. Miss seeing Robert McCall on the DD podcast. That's fair and makes sense.
He had a little comeback a year ago, maybe.
And Dave says it was great to chat with him when he was over at the Dyers. Yeah, nice plug for the Dyers Guild again. I will quickly say big shout out to Brittany and Dave over at the Dyers Guild. I think they had near a record-breaking weekend in terms of people that came by to dye discs.
That's
so.
Awesome.
If you don't know this already, I'll make the plug on his behalf, certainly. They had a Dye Academy that took place on Wednesday, where a bunch of people were pre-signed up that got to come do it. But then if you're at at the Des Moines Challenge this weekend, or at the Preserve, or at Worlds, you can show up to the Dyers Guild booth, and even if you have no idea what you're doing, just like I don't, you can
You've dyed 2 discs now.
I know.
I've seen it.
You can get inspiration through an inspiration book that they have that they can show you how to do any of the dies in there. You can get the die colors and then also a white disc of your choice that's there. Or you could bring your own and you can save a few dollars that way. But it all gets done right there. He can dry them. He gets them all ready to go and then also walks you through dyeing it. So awesome. We saw families show up, people getting gifts for other people. So many cool different ways to go about it. So that will be at the next few stops, like I was just saying.
Are you going to be at Preserve in person?
I am planning at being at the Preserve in person.
Okay.
So looking forward to it. So please, stop by the Dyers Guild and make sure you check it out over those next couple of weekends that I was just talking about.
Okay. Well, if this is the time for plugs, I'll give a quick plug for Skip Ace, Fantasy Disc Golf. I'm releasing a few new features. They're kind of in beta right now. The first one is if you have a draft league, I am taking all your data and selling it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
No, I'm taking the stats from the leagues and I'm feeding it through a magic computer, we'll call it. If you get mad, a magic computer. And more or less it looks at the different stats, whether, how you performed, how your team performed this week, last week, overall. And it produces a newsletter for your league. Basically kind of giving you just a quick rundown, like, oh, so-and-so did really well this week as opposed to last week when they stunk. You can add different tones. You can have it be like a sports writer versus a humorous versus statistical, and or like, as we call it, like a roast. Where you can literally have it kind of be extra spicy and be a little bit more mean. And because that's how, when my friends and I play fantasy football and we talk to each other and we rib each other, we have, we kind of sometimes take turns running up a newsletter for the league and we always rip on each other. And so that's kind of what I wanted to recreate, but not every league has someone that wants to take the time to do that. Well, with, the magic computers these days, you can feed a lot of that data in and it will come back and just give you a newsletter now. And so if you are part of a draft league, which is where we're kind of debuting it, go ahead and ask your commissioner to turn it on. And then every Tuesday after the event, it pops up. It's up in your little notifications. You'll be able to kind of see a summary of what happened in your league. The other thing that I just added, and this is, again, in beta, I would say. The newsletter is less beta, and I think it's kind of the way it's going to stick. I might expand it to more league types next year, but we'll see what the return is. The other is a new type of league that I'm playing with. And normally you draft, you usually either draft a player and you get points based on what they do on the course. Birdies, bogeys, all the other stuff. This is a new type of league. I'm just calling it like a category league, where you pick a player for each of the PDGA categories. Well, I nailed 6 down. So out of the 21 that they keep track of as of right now.
Okay.
So you can pick a player that you think is going to perform the best in C1 putting. And the higher they perform, the more points you get. It's kind of a scaled point system. You pick an MPO and an FPO. So I think, where do you put Gannon? You put him as a putter. You put him as a circle one in regulation. And once you pick a player, you can't repick them. You can only use them in one category. Where do you put Macbeth? And then on top of that, there's a bonus for score. I'm going to pick the best score. And that is that's a one-time bonus versus the categories which are counted as each round. So if your player performs well round 1, that's cool. If they perform mediocre round 2, you get a lot of points for round 1, medium round 3. The score one is one that's just figured at the end. So I mean, you could play it safe and maybe pick Gannon for your score, but you're not going to get as many points probably. But you pick all these other players. Who are you picking for score then? It's a little bit of a strategy game, but it's just a different style. You don't have to really know much. You just do a little bit of research on your players and where they perform the best. Owen Scoggins, you're probably not picking C1 in regulation, but you're probably picking putting or birdies or something along those lines. And there's a league out there. If you go to SkipAce, if you're a follower on SkipAce, go out, take a look, and you can look in the join league area. I made it a public league if anyone wants to join. I forget the code There's a 4-digit code that I don't have off the top of my head, but it's out there for free. Go ahead and join. It doesn't cost anything. I'm just beta testing it out to see how it works. Maybe we can tweak some things, because not, as we saw this past weekend, even at Ledgestone, not every card gets these detailed stats. So sometimes, like, Kelvin didn't get
be a real struggle.
Kelvin didn't get detailed stats for round 1. So what do you do? My strategy as of right now is, we obviously know his score. What I do is I take somebody that has the same score as him. So if Kelvin shoots a 4 under par, I find another person that shot 4 under par
and give them their stats.
And no, and that's the player. Yeah, that's the player you get. You get that person's stats.
Oh,
I mean, you got to figure it could be like Luke said, him and Marweed could shoot the exact same score and get there 2 different ways.
Yeah,
it's just there's going to be a little bit of luck in that, but that's what we can do for right now. That's the only way, and it sorts it based on score. And if there's a tie score, then it goes based on like rating and then PDGA number or something. I have it ranked as to how you get a player if your player doesn't get stats. But the next round, you will get that original player. So it's not like you're stuck. If you picked Kelvin, it's not like you're stuck with Kelvin the whole weekend, because it might just be one round he doesn't get stats. You go back to getting Kelvin. You just get an alternate for now. And this is just something that we have to do because of the size of our sport. We don't necessarily always have stat keepers, especially in FPO. Sometimes early in that morning, those first couple, if Evelina goes off round 1, first card, as she I think did this past weekend, she might not have stats because there might not be a volunteer. So there's a little bit of play that we need to work with, but it's something I've wanted to do. There's a few different types of leagues I've always wanted to create. This is one of them. The other one that I don't think I'll ever create, so I can just say it, is a sponsor-based league. You have to fill an Innova spot. You have to fill a Discraft spot.
Ooh.
You have to fill, a Trilogy spot. You have to fill. The hard part about that is it's a pain in the ass to keep up with all the players.
Right.
Because there's no place to get that information other than manually entering it.
And or open bag, and
you have open bag. You
infinite.
Exactly. Infinite.
Gateway.
There's a lot of different ways. So it's difficult. Plus, how do you do it? Do you do one from each sponsor? Do you 2 Innova, 2 Discraft, a bunch of open bag? It's a very hard. I've been thinking about this for like 3 years now, and I just can't come up with a great way to do it. Maybe I'll come up with a good way someday, but it's one of those things where I don't mind throwing it out in the ether. Maybe somebody will have a great idea and they'll come back to me, because I've kind of exhausted my ideas as far as like the sponsorship cup, so to speak. But, we'll see how it goes. But for now, there's a new category type out there. Come play for free for the rest of the season. Let's fill out a league. Do what you want. And it doesn't cost anything. It's just for fun.
Wow.
Yep.
Just for the F of it.
Just for the F of it. And maybe we'll use, depending on how this goes, maybe we'll do something special for like USDGC, like we've done in the past. Maybe we'll do a fundraiser again. In the past, we've worked with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. I didn't do that the last year or two, but I think that could be exciting. We'll see. Yeah. For those of you that are interested in fantasy, I keep saying I'm done for the year. I have the sites right where I want it, but I keep coming up with these little ideas and they nag at me until I do them. And so then I'll be like, well, I'll just quick work on it. And then I'm done. Once I sit down to do it, that's it. I could put it in a notepad for later, but I feel like a lot of time I put down like the idea and then I don't remember in like 6 months what exactly I meant. It's like, what did you mean when you put that there? Why is previous John such an idiot? Why didn't he give me more details? But if I'm going to lay it all out anyway, I might as well feed it into the magic computer that can do a lot of the programming for me. So
previous John does sound like
that guy's a jerk.
I don't know.
Past John, he sucks.
Yeah.
He doesn't even think about future John ever.
Yeah. I want to. Oh, here we go. Finally found it. So that I didn't make the mistake of it. Our PDGA election results have been posted.
Did I win?
And you just narrowly got edged out of nothing. When it was all said and done, if I'm pulling it up here and I'll put a link in the chat for anyone that wants to see it themselves or get to it a little quicker. But, I mean, the top 3 candidates all were on our show. I mean,
smash, pop, bump.
It was very close. overall. Conrad Damon gets the most amount of votes at 5,529. Congratulations to him. He is he is now a global board of director. And then Ben Shin got the second most amount of votes at 4,074. He got roughly 400 more than Rob Bullen. And Rob had gotten about 240 more than Ken Luukkonen. So when it was all said and done, your top 2 vote getters were Conrad Damon, PDGA 2450, and Ben Shin, PDGA 50445. So congratulations to them. And I'll say it again, thank you to all that ran.
Yes.
Those are the 4 final candidates, and there were plenty more before that. So thank you to everyone that put your hat in the ring, so to speak. And then the PDGA Europe Board of Directors, you were voting for 3. And when it was all said and done, Christopher Christensen, PDGA 4591.
Kriester.
Or, excuse me, thank you. Kriester Christensen, I think that is PDGA 4591. Rika Selman, PDGA 85244. And Gerd Albert Biesterfeld, PDGA 3757, was your 3rd highest vote getter. So, and even all of those looked very close among each other, and then a bunch of different write-ins. So congratulations. And then all of your, at the end of the day, all of your state coordinators and provincial coordinators were also selected. I won't read through all those. But congrats to all of those that were elected and won. Some of them, they were a little closer races. Some of them went basically unchallenged. But congrats to everyone.
Happy for everyone. Congratulations. And 9,264 ballots cast.
Oh, wow. That sounds like such great turnout. Everybody that's so impassioned on the internet certainly turned out to voice their opinion.
What a disappointing number.
Well,
the funny part is I almost forgot. I think I did it with 2 days to spare.
Previous John is stupid.
Previous John did it, though. He remembered.
No, still stupid.
Well, yeah, it's not like I got smarter. With 2 days to go, I was like, oh yeah, I have to do that. Let me get that done. And so I voted. And yeah, 9,200. That is a disappointing number for the number of PDGA active members we have.
Right. Well, because it's so much easier just to complain and piss and moan.
Do we have
without doing anything about it? Not even voting.
80,000 active members?
Well, I mean, I think it said it's 10%. Roughly.
Okay, so we've about 90,000 active members.
Whatever the number is, but I believe that it was roughly. I thought I read somewhere it was 9 or 10% of the vote. I think, or 9 or 10%.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks. I would love to see that number hit closer to like 20,000. I think that would be a better representation. Representation. Not that this is a bad. I mean, the people who cared voted. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, it's just
I wish more people would care enough to vote.
For as vocal as everyone is, you would think we'd have a better turnout. Yeah, it says right here, took place, blah, blah, blah. 91,632 ballots were sent to eligible members.
Okay, so
of those, 9,630 ballots were returned, which is a participation mark of 10.51%. Participation in 2025 was 10.17%.
So we went up
by 0.34%. So
less than anomaly.
So basically a third of a percent is what it increased by to get to the 10.51. It's just, and I wouldn't be so vocal about calling people out right now if you weren't so vocal about always whining and complaining. And if you can't even, but I get it. Voting doesn't mean you're going to get exactly your way.
No.
And it's going to fix every problem. I understand that. But if you can't even take the time to cast a vote, I don't want to hear you complain.
The problem is, I think most of the people that complain probably aren't even PDGA members. The complaints you see online, and if they are PDGA members, you know they didn't vote. Like, that's just... I don't know. It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's just a little deflating.
it is, and because I'm all like, if you're disgruntled or you're mad or you're frustrated or you're bitter, or you're fed up, all of those things, like, fine, I'm good with that. But then you have to vote in some direction. But to not even cast any vote, no, it doesn't matter, I don't care. Well, that's fine. That's fine too.
Up.
That's fine too. But then I don't ever want to hear you complain again. Like that's where I stand on that.
Yeah. I would say to someone that doesn't want to vote, that doesn't like the candidates, that is frustrated, abstain. Fill out the ballot and just abstain, because we saw there's like 360 some people who abstain.
Sure.
Do that. Make your voice, at least make that part of your voice heard. Say, I don't like these candidates. They don't represent me. I want to make at least known that I am disgruntled or something along those lines.
Right.
But just not doing anything feels like a waste. But whatever. It's what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Nuttree says, I honestly wouldn't even know who to vote for. Well, that's why you could listen to Terry's interviews with them. You could listen to our Smashbox interviews with them. You can read the PDGA, write-ups. You're never truly going to know what's in someone's heart. They're going to say what they're going to say. I'm going to group them all as sort of politicians. I mean,
sure.
They're going to say what hopefully they want you to get to vote for them. I feel like it's a much lower stakes than most politicians. So I would lean on the side of they're probably saying what they do believe in versus your local senator who probably is just trying to get your vote. If you read those things, listen to those things, and if you still can't make a decision, I mean, I get
ask
it.
a friend.
Sucks.
At least ask a friend, right? Like it would be very easy for me to say to Johnny, "Hey, I don't know shit of what's going on. You know, who did you vote for, and or who do you think that I might align with?" You probably have a friend that has some idea, that is informed. I mean, that's still better than not voting for anyone or doing anything about it. At least you're getting a little insight. So, I don't know. I would love to see. I can understand saying you wouldn't know, but it's that's on you because the information is clearly it's out there.
Especially if you're like if you're, and I'm not here to harp on you, Nuttree. If you're here tonight, you're hopefully a Smashy. Hopefully you're listening. We did have a couple of the 3 of the 4 on our show, so maybe you missed those, but. I know there are some people that, look at a name and be like, I don't know that person, I'm not going to tune in tonight. I get it. I'm the same way with certain podcasts. But yeah, there's the information is out there. So it can be a little overwhelming. I can understand that. But if you care enough about the PDGA, then hopefully you care enough to take the extra half hour to do a little bit of research or something like that. So
yeah. All right, real quick. I will also a couple other quick things were my friends over in Mexico had run an event a few months ago, a little over a month ago, back in June. I collaborated with them to help share a little bit of awareness of their videos on YouTube. So you may have seen that pop up on my channel, but I gladly collaborated. Super excited that they ended up having coverage. It was in a tough time knowing that the World Cup was going on and they didn't have quite the turnout initially that they were hoping for the event. So if you see something on my YouTube, that was part of me just trying to spread the good word of the hard work that they still did for their A tier down there. And then also, if you're a fan of some crazy stories, Crazy John Brooks.
Quite literal crazy stories.
Yeah, it has been added to the Out of Production podcast. It just dropped. And so wanted to let you know that Crazy John.
Can't wait to listen to that one.
I'm going to give you a little spoiler in saying this, and maybe I already shared it, but it's about 3 hours roughly.
So that covered the first 5 years of his disc golf career?
We didn't even talk about disc golf. Right? So
it didn't even get into disc golf. I mean, this is awesome.
Of course,
Great.
We're talking frisbee sports. We're talking some of the craziest stories you've ever heard. You're talking about Rockstar Living. You're talking about Bud Light frisbee teams and promotional teams. I don't know if the Playboy Mansion did get brought up or not. We're talking about a lot of things.
Is there a part 2 already lined up?
There has to be.
There has to be.
Because we didn't even talk about his disc golf career hardly. So tune in if you're wondering, hey, what's the story about Crazy John. Well, we peel back about one layer of the Crazy John onion. So
Wow. Yeah.
so anyway, that is out. Love it. I'm not going to spoil who we're interviewing, but there's going to be another interview of someone tomorrow that's new.
Non-Crazy John Brooks.
Non-Crazy John, and that'll come out. Again, we're going to try and keep on an every other week schedule for releases, but we got another guest lined up. The only hint I'll give you is another Hall of Famer within the Disc Golf World Hall of Fame.
That doesn't narrow
it down at all, but it is another Hall of Famer. So hope that
Were
you guys
they put in the Hall of Fame more than 10 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes, probably on that.
Narrows it down.
Yes.
A little bit.
So yes. And if you really know me or my history, it might have been this person was a tournament director for a major that I competed in. That gives a little more insight, especially if you know me. Terry picked up another homeless man and took him to the hospital. I did not do that anytime recently. I don't think. No.
Yeah, Out of Production. Go check it out on your podcast. Please download it, listen to it. Make comments, rank it, rate it. If you took the time to just give Smashbox 4 stars, give Out of Production 5. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, to answer a few more questions, is Greg Hosfeld on the short list of people for the podcast? Absolutely. We got to get Greg. I mean, we cannot do a history of the sport without the Miniac, without Greg Hosfeld. Like that, we should just close up shop and end the show if we're not going to have Hosfeld. So yes, of course, Greg Hosfeld will be on there as well. Yes, Crazy John did have that incredible dam shot way back in the day. Again, we didn't even get to talk about it yet because there's so much other golf. Oof. But there will be additional parts. And big shout out, I got a very sweet message, a phone call from one Scott Reek, who has dabbled in disc golf podcasts. Yeah. Was also recently inducted into the Kansas Disc Golf Hall of Fame. Scott Reek called me the other night just to tell me, hey, I'm calling just to say I love the Out of Production podcast. He said, I found it, and I'm consuming it as much of it as I can. He had some long drives coming up, so that worked out well for him. But he, like a number of others, have been enjoying some of that history. So you want another long-form podcast that's not necessarily in a
current
present
event.
day timeline, and you want some of the history of the game and some of the craziest stories and coolest things that maybe you never even knew about disc golf or early Frisbee days. That's what Out of Production is there.
But did you ever think about adding like an after show for current events?
No, we won't be doing that.
Good.
Not at all. So we hope that you guys enjoy it.
Okay, I think that covers a lot. I know Terry said we wanted this to be a
short one, just 2 hours and 48 minutes
shorter
later.
episode. So we're going to quickly give away something from Patreon, patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV if you're interested in supporting Smashbox. And ultimately, that helps support Skip Ace. It helps support Out of Production. It helps support Terry Miller, Disc Golf Guy. Either way, it all goes into our pockets, and we love you more if you support. So patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV. You can be eligible for our weekly giveaway. We have 93 people eligible for our giveaway this week. Let me make sure I put 93 in there. Boom, 93. All right, Terry Miller, we have the 93 in the random.org generator. I'm going to hit the generate button. How many times tonight?
Question. Think just once.
One. That's what I was going with. Luke Taylor,
the one time.
Yep.
First time winner on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Not 9 for Josh Taylor, who took 9th place in MP40.
No, who's rated 994.
That's what surprised me a little bit more than anything. When I looked, I was like I get it. His dad plays. I was like,
994.
Wow, like 970.
He chased me right out of Michigan. That's why I don't go play there anymore.
Yeah, no doubt.
I used to play Michigan all the time. Beat Mike Durko on the board all the time, like day in and day out. Right? No, maybe not. But yes.
All right, our very first number. I sorted it by first name tonight.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit generate. I did bring in all the ones from the weekly giveaway,
the
or
website,
the website
love
that you
it,
can
love
enter.
it.
Hit generate, and number 53.
Number 53.
53.
God, I'm not that old. Jeez.
No, me neither. Gosh, I should have done over under on your age on this one, because we're kind of right in the middle, aren't we?
I'm in the middle of life. That's what I'm thinking.
That's, you're not middle aged.
I'd like to be 90. I'll go with 96.
I'd be
long as
happy
I'm a
with that.
spry, moving,
Yeah.
coherent 96. I'll take that.
Keith
I'm thinking of
Colorado is our winner tonight.
Keith
Colorado.
Love it. Congratulations, Keith. Thank you for your support.
All right. I don't really have too much else here yet tonight, Terry. I think we've covered all of the news, all of the drama, all of the disc golf, and all of the Luke.
Yeah, that sounds like most of it. Sure. Oh, and Durko coming in with the stats. I think I only bested you one round ever, Terry. I would double check that. I don't know if you even got me there. Ouch. Ouch, burn, zinger. No, I'm sure you did, Durko, in your dreams.
I'm sure he had to go to tournament once.
No, yes. D-Glow
Durko was busy beating me.
D-Glow is only 2 hours from me. Congrats to Keith. Nice. Yeah, hopefully we see you at Worlds there, Nuttree. That would be nice. They made more announcements for Worlds. The Rock Buzz combo pack. I think it's showing up. Don't come to my house. I think it's showing up on in a couple days. I don't know if I'll be here, so I won't be releasing them first on my site. Reach out if you need some, but I think they're showing up to dealers here super soon. So
they've been a hot ticket item, is what I understand.
That's what I heard. So looking forward to it. All right, looking forward. Hopefully I run into a few of you in Des Moines. Bring the mister. Let's keep it cool out there.
Like,
yeah, I was
not
gonna
the
say,
missus?
Yeah, no, not your husband. No, bring the nice cool shade mister or something. I'm gonna invest. If somebody, and I mean this, if somebody has an relatively inexpensive, like one of those fan mister things that they feel like works. I mean, I bought literally a $2 one at Menards a few weeks ago. Not shocking, didn't work great.
My daughter has one that goes around her neck and just kind of sits there and fans her.
I see those. Those have been popular. Do they work really well? That's the question.
I've never tried it myself.
Because they look like earphones that you just don't know how to wear.
Yeah,
is what that reminds me of. I'm like, are you dumb? And I'm like, oh no.
It could be some new bone conducting, but it's conducting through your jawbone instead of like through your.
Yeah, perfect. So, nonetheless, if somebody has a great recommendation. It's on my birthday list on Amazon. I'm just kidding. I made that up. But if you do have a great recommendation, let me know, because I would entertain the idea of getting one of those, because I would like to not overheat.
If someone doesn't show up at Des Moines with one for you, I'll be disappointed. Just like, hey, Terry. No. Or you're going to have like 6 of them now.
I'll wear them all.
Like on your arms. And just wrap it around your thigh.
Right. I'd be okay with that too.
I'm not saying you wouldn't.
All right, thank you for joining. Hopefully next week I get some new breaking news on some other stuff going on. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Congrats to Luke again. Congrats to Evelina Salonen on the FPO side. That's our SmashBoxx TV after show. We'll see you next week. You step inside the SmashBoxx.